attention to the needs of these students knows that the DOE has struggled, the Department of Education has struggled to support this population. We have years of lawsuits and court orders and failures to comply with court orders, illustrating the multitude of ways in which this population of students has not always received all the services that they require and deserve. Because of this, it is particularly critical for parents to feel clear on what services their children are actually receiving, but it's shocking how little access parents or caregivers actually have to this kind of real information. Give a brief example, caregivers don't have access to the online portal that service providers use to log service hours, and our New York City schools accounts don't update their records about last received services in a remotely timely fashion. In terms of the data that we receive, another example, the DOE's Related Services team recently shared what sounds like a fabulous number. It shared that 94.8% of students have received services this year, which sounds great. But you can qualify as having received services simply by receiving one service for the entire year. So it's not actually a helpful or meaningful number to let us understand what students are actually receiving in school. So the resolution is a start on helping with this issue. We've listed a series of requests addressed to Superintendent McGuire and the Office for Special Education and the Deputy Chief of Special Education, John Hammer. Some of the requests essentially include data on compliance with IEPs for the past 2 years, information about how parents can request specific information about services rendered to their students, transparency for how D2 currently ensures schools provide makeup sessions for students, providing caregivers with the ability to see what services their students receive. We've also asked that D2 principals and assistant principals be required to work with school-based support teams and psychologists and relevant staff members to ensure that each student with a disability is matched to a caseworker prior to the start of the school year, and that the contact information for that caseworker is provided to families before the start of the year, as well as to ensure that families are told and informed about their rights to compensatory services, and that compliance with this notification be provided to the appropriate individuals at the district office. And finally, we've asked that the DOE add a question to the citywide school survey beginning next year to capture whether caregivers feel that their school principal supports and ensures services for students with disabilities in their school. Families shouldn't have to wonder if their kids are actually going to school and getting the services they need. So this is an effort to make it a little bit easier for families to advocate for their students more effectively by getting the information that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I ask the council to introduce the next resolution, I just want to mention the procedural points. The District 2 Community Education Council follows a set of bylaws, and the bylaws are basically controlling, and when the bylaws are not controlling, we refer to Robert's Rules of Order. Robert's Rules of Order states that by means of motions to rescind and to amend something previously adopted, which are two forms of one incidental main motion governed by identical rules, the Assembly can change an action previously taken or ordered. And motions to rescind and to amend something previously adopted are not in order under the following circumstances. B, when something has been done as a result of a vote on the main motion that is impossible to undo, the unexecuted part of an order, however, can be rescinded or amended. With regard to Resolution 248, that resolution specifically contained an operative clause that stated as follows: therefore, be it resolved that CECD2 respectfully request that NYCPS immediately convenes a Gender Guidelines Review Committee. This request has been made and responded to. So it is, in fact, too late for the motion to rescind. However, that being said, I placed the motion on the agenda, and if the four council members are willing to agree that we can be a little loose with Robert's rules tonight, I have no objection to hearing resolution number 254. Is there any objection from the four of you? Okay, so I now just ask, and I apologize to the other members of the council, but this is the way we're going to handle it tonight. I know many members of you are here, many members of the public are here, so you should be entitled to have a discussion on this resolution. So is there anyone that would like to introduce resolution 254, entitled Resolution to Rescind Resolution number 248?
First of all, just speaking to the procedural matter, I do understand that under Robert's Rules of Order, it is it's not in order to motion to rescind something that has already taken place. However, all of the cases that involve that part of Robert's Rules of Order envision something like, the town council motions to, to paint the school. The school's been painted. You can't unpaint this. Now this is rhetoric. We have put this motion forward, and we can take it back. So I beg to differ with your interpretation of that. So I think this resolution really speaks for itself. I think that since this council passed Resolution 248 in March this year, we've seen so many members of our community and such an incredible outpouring of sentiment, of people coming to testify and saying how they felt that Resolution 248 was harmful. And the Chancellor Banks has said this on multiple occasions as well. The chair of the panel for educational policy, appointed by Mayor Adams, has said the same, as have our Manhattan representatives on that panel. That panel, the panel for educational policy, has its own resolution, I think at its meeting next week, which will be held in the Bronx, to also condemn this Resolution 248. Nearly every single one of our elected officials at the city, state, and federal level, including some of our community boards, representing families in District 2, has spoken out about Resolution 248 being an attempt to marginalize and other transgender students. And I understand that some members of this council who voted for Resolution 248 in March, and maybe even some of the council members who sponsored Resolution 248, still think, even after all this time, that it's just about establishing a committee to review an abstract set of guidelines. But asking for a review committee about whether a group of students who are included now under the current guidelines can continue to be included or not is not a neutral thing for the people whose fate might be in the hands of that committee. So I think for maybe some of my fellow council members, maybe there was no intent to do harm. But we also have to think of impact. When we know that an action of this council has hurt members of our community, and they have made it very clear to us that it has, I think we have an obligation to walk it back, to apologize for that harm, and to try to learn from that and be better. Finally, I know that some of you on this council may feel that you're representing people in the District 2 community who may have fears or concerns about transgender girls participating on girls' sports teams. My only response to that is that we are not here to validate people's fears of other people. So we should not be validating those fears. We should be trying to protect our students from them, not institutionalizing them. And I just think we need to own up to this as a council, and we need to rescind Resolution 248. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, is there anyone who would like to introduce resolution number 255, resolution to create a District 2 class size task force? All right, speak for itself.
I'm sorry, sorry about that.
It is.
So I'll try to be quick, sorry. As you all know, the city needs to implement the class size law over the next few years. Our council recently passed Resolution 251, which called for the state legislature to make certain amendments to ensure that this implementation is equitable, educationally sound, and would not wreak havoc on the entire DOE system. They didn't, but we'll see what happens. But I'd like to be a realist. Whether they make changes or not, there will be continued implementation. We have schools, for example, that are way over capacity as it is. Decisions are going to have to be made, and my guess is that there may be some level of rezoning needed. Alternatively, there will be potentially repurposing of classrooms. The DOE did have a working group that has been making recommendations, but that's pretty high level. That group isn't saying PS whatever is at 140% capacity, where are the kids going to go to school, so we can implement. They're not going to be, they weren't talking about the nitty-gritty work on a district by district, school by school level. The district surely has started this planning process. I know Superintendent McGuire has been working hard with his team and his principals, but it's time to get a group together of all stakeholders, principals, teachers, parents, our CEC, the district council, the district leadership council. If tough decisions need to be made, let's get stakeholder input sooner rather than later and have transparency throughout the process. This resolution asks that a D2 class size task force be convened with each of these stakeholders to ensure that we come up with solutions that work for the district and for our kids. Thank you.
And the next resolution, which I'm sure is probably the most controversial one on the agenda tonight, resolution number 256, entitled Resolution to Enhance NYCPS lice remediation policies to provide needed resources to families. Does anyone would like to speak about this resolution?
Yes. My apologies in advance for any itching this conversation is going to cause you, because it will. Is that louder? Can you hear me now? Sorry. Good? All right. It's going to make everyone feel itchy, and I'm really sorry. So this resolution is to address the inequities of lice checks and remediation in schools. School lice checks are funded by parent associations, parent-teacher associations. So well-funded schools are with active PTAs have great checks. I was lucky enough to go to a school where my kids got like a professional company to come in, thank God. So this just asks for 3 times a year checks. Typically, kids come back from vacation with lice. They go out there and they see the world, which is great. Ask for remediation kits because it can be expensive. It's also sometimes it comes home and then you find out at the end of the day, or you get a letter and you're like, what the heck? And there's certain combs that work and certain combs that don't. I have very strong feelings about lice, sorry. And also to disseminate easy to understand information about lice remediation and also lice prevention and treatment to help people understand like the kind of laundry to do and like what works. Think of like more IKEA directions, like super simple so that everyone can figure it out and do it quickly and as easily as possible. So that's about it.
I want to thank you for that, and I too have a lice survivor.
We all yes. We all are.
So, thank you. It's very traumatic.
Just 'cause, like, no.
The next item on our agenda is the program presentation. So we have 2 programs for tonight. The first one on the agenda, and if we don't have anyone here from OLA yet, we can do the other one first. But is there anyone who is prepared to present from the Office of Language Access, OLA? And when you do your presentation, if you'll just explain to everyone what OLA is. And thank you. Would you like that one or you want?
This one? Okay. Can move around.
And Councilmember should have handouts on this presentation. While we're waiting for him to get set up, just there is a sign-in sheet. If anyone would like to speak at any of our 2 public speaking sessions, please make sure you sign on the sign-in sheet. And again, if you are a student, please put an S next to your name so we might be able to take you role. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Robert Williams, and I'm point principal for all parent engagement at the Office of Language Access. This presentation will show you how to navigate through the schools.nyc.gov Hello webpage to access resources as translation, materials, or interpretation device. So on the agenda, we have 5 items. We'll talk about the NYC Public Schools background, our commitment to NYC Public Schools family, the schools.nyc.gov Hello webpage, raising awareness and questions and answers. So, a little bit about the NYC Public Schools background. There's over 1 million students in over 1,600 plus schools that speak over 180 languages. Approximately 40% of the NYC Public Schools households speak a language other than English at home. And the Office of Language Access is dedicated to supporting both staff and families by providing the resources necessary for effective communication in languages other than English. And the NYC Public Schools top 9 non-English languages are Arabic, Bangla, Chinese, French, Haitian Creole, Russian, Spanish, and Urdu. So here's a little brief data about District 2. As you can see, we have at least about 10 languages. You have families that's Korean, Arabic. You have a good number of American Sign Language as well. So, I know they're low numbers, but let's not forget about the low listening languages. So, our office supports the NYCPS offices and public schools with translation and interpretation services for families who prefer languages other than English. Our translation team, which is our largest group, that specialize in providing many language services. Our interpretation team works with our contracted interpretation vendors to ensure schools receive services for in-person, virtual, and over-the-phone parental engagements. Our outreach team, which is the eye on, we focus on promoting equitable language access services to schools and empowering NYC Public School parents to understand and advocate for their language access rights. Our office pursues, continues to pursue innovation and partnership to be the nation's leader of language access to schools. We collaborate with advocates to identify needs and address language barriers in our ever-changing communities. We engage parent leaders to enhance the message of language access to our communities. We pursue innovative ways to engage with and receive feedback from families, such as our online portals, emails, phone calls, text, or direct mailings. We leverage technology to continuously enhance the interpretation experience for families, such as virtual meetings. We ensure translation quality, such as professional translation tools. And we keep a pulse of citywide parent language data and translation interpretation service offerings. NYC Public Schools free language services include, I'm going to repeat that. NYC Public Schools free language services include interpretation for all meetings and interactions with NYC Public Schools staff, translation of general documents into NYC Public Schools top 9 English languages, and some examples of those materials include a parent newsletter, event flyers, translation of individualized documents into a parent's preferred language upon request. And some of those documents include IEPs, which is an individualized education program, Section 504 plan, which is a medical accommodation. So let's say the child has test anxiety. So you would go to school, ask for 504 plan, take that plan to your primary doctor. If your primary doctor deems that the child does have anxiety, you can bring that back to the school, and then now once the school submits it, the child may receive extra time on the test. For transcripts or utilization records, this is in any language. You translate for and transcript in any language, not just the top 9. So, navigating the NYC Public Schools website, be mindful at the top right of each page, there's a drop down. You can translate the web page into your preferred language. So please note, automatic translations are not intended to replace human translators and are provided as a service to users of the website. Some content such as images, videos, animations, etc. may not be translated due to the limitations of the translation software. So once you go to the schools.nyc.gov webpage, this is the first thing that you're going to see. That's a little short video. This explains our resources.
New York City Public Schools speak your language. Did you know that New York City families speak over 100 Indian languages? All New York City Public Schools provide translation services for documents and interpreters for meetings. For example, if you're not already provided, you can request the following services from your child's school. Translation of report cards and school letters. Translation of individualized education programs, IEPs. Evaluations and other special education documents, and interpretation services for meetings with teachers and other school staff members. For more information and resources, or to provide feedback on the services offered by your school, visit schools.nyc.gov/alert or call 311.
And as you see at the top right corner, another little drop down, you translate the whole page into your preferred language. This video is also translated into Arabic, Bangla, Cantonese, French, Asian Creole, Korean, Mandarin, Russian, Spanish, and Urdu. So, the very next tab will be that video. This is exactly how the web page is. So, the very next tab will be helpful resources. Here you can see you have help forms and notices, enrollment forms, but we're going to focus on the bottom. The language access NYC PS Standing brochure. This brochure is good for parents that say you can't speak. If you go to the school and the school can't speak your language, you just tear out whatever language you prefer, hand it to the school, and the school must provide support in that language. The very next tab underneath that will be request language services. So families can complete the translation and interpretation service request form to request language services. The NYC Public Schools Office of Language Access will forward your request to the appropriate school, office, or committee on special education. This form is also translated into these languages, so please note, language services may vary depending on the type of school the student attends. Parents can also call 311 or make a request for language service. Interpretation over the phone is available in over 200 plus languages. So let's say you want to click on this form. This is how the form will look. But before you click on the form, please go to your school for immediate support first. Now, if the school is unable to support you, then you'll come fill out this form. This form is forwarded to my actual all parent forms are forwarded to my personal email, so it's not like sitting in an office inbox for somebody to look at it, and I answer emails right away. So what happens if you fill out this form, I look at the form, I see, now you can fill out the form, you can fill out the name or anonymous, it's up to you. So if it's anonymous, I'll send the emails to the principal, one of the language access coordinators of that school, and the parent coordinator, and the email came in, you have a parent saying that they weren't happy with the school not supporting them in Chinese, and please make sure that you reach out to all of your Chinese families and all of your other low incident families to make sure that you support them in their language. If you need training, I will always train staff as well. Please reach out to me and I'll be happy to provide training. And they must let me know when they reach out to the parents so that I can post online. This form is translated to top 9 languages. And for those who do not have a computer, they take out their phone, scan the QR code, and the page will come up as well. So the very next tab on that would be the Office of Language Access. If you or someone you know needs help receiving information or communicating with the school staff member in a language other than English, please send us to the principal, parent coordinator, or call 211, or you can visit our contact OLA form. This form is translated into the languages below. That's if you want to contact our office, you'll click on that. This form will populate. Just complete the form. I think we will be addressed accordingly. Like I said, this form is translated into the top 9 languages, and we also provide a QR code for the form as well. The very next step, that would be share your language services experience. You may also provide feedback on the NYC Public Schools language services by completing our translation interpretation feedback survey. We don't want to just hear complaints. We want to hear, some schools that are doing well, so maybe they can model for other schools. We want to know what are they doing right in that maybe other schools can follow maybe. So once you click on this page is populated. Again, just fill out the form, and you will be addressed accordingly. Form is generated in top 9 languages, and again, we provide the QR codes. Now, silent interpretation services. Our office does not provide sign language services. This is a separate office. I get a lot of emails, people asking, can you send out a sign language interpreter? So they come from our office, that's a separate office. And to contact them, you just send an email to them at oslis@schools.nyc.gov. This is free of charge. The very next tab of that will be, if you're having difficulties obtaining language assistance services, here you can click on Get Help or file a complaint. So we've done some outreach in the community. We have advertised in schools, grocery stores, laundromats, near health, bar salon, pharmacies. And what's not on here is we have been advertising in the MTA train system and on the MTA buses. We have done direct outreach with robocalls, email, text messages, postcards, and what is on the right. If for any reason you're saying, I didn't receive anything from your office and your anything, please go to the school, check with the secretary or whoever is at the front desk to make sure that all your information is updated, because, our phone numbers change, sometimes we move. We pull from the same system that schools enter information. So, are there any questions?
Actually, I have a question. Are there any translation services provided for parent-teacher conferences? Because it's such an important part of the feedback process. How does that work?
I'm glad you said that. So, for the CEC Council, some of you guys, like the president they wear multiple hats. If you're wearing the hat underneath the PTA president, you go directly to, your support would be the parent coordinator of that school. If some schools do not have a parent coordinator, so we go to the admin, AP, or the principal. For the CEC council member, your support would be Victor at the district. And if some some districts do not have an AA, so it would be the family leadership coordinator or the family support coordinator. And yes, parent-teacher conferences, you can have interpreters there, you can have interpreters at graduations. A lot of parents are not aware of that, and I see a lot of schools not having interpretation at graduations, which that's a big event that you should have interpretation.
And what do you recommend? I mean, do you recommend that, like the superintendent reach out to the principals? I mean, there's got to be some sort of official process that whereby, because a lot of parents just don't know, like you were saying, they just don't know about the availability of the translation service.
And this is why I go around to the whole city to CEC meetings to inform parents of their rights that they can have at graduation or parent-teacher conferences, so that they can inform the school. If the school doesn't know, I mean, staff do have like a revolving door sometimes. Sometimes people retire, they go to a different school, so, you know, I can understand that, but we try to make our best to go around training staff members at every school so that they are aware of these resources. And that's why we try to empower parents these resources as well, so that they can go to the school and say, hey, I was at a meeting and I was told that you can provide interpretation at graduation. Can you please do so?
The other thing I wanted to just ask you about is not only like report cards, I heard you say transcripts, but like a report card's translated, and then what about like just basic feedback? So if somebody submits a report or a book report, for example, and there are some comments, you know, it's quite possible a parent doesn't know what those comments are.
So our office translates to the 9 top languages for free for parent, anything parent related. For students, so our school gives, our office gives each school translation and interpretation funds for those particular situations. They can actually use those funds to either request interpreters or translate those report cards, the student report cards. We have a vendor that they can just submit that document to the vendor. It's at a cost, but the return is fast, maybe 2 days. It's much faster than trying to do it on your own. Now, the problem with schools, I know some schools do, they will translate certain things on their own. The only problem with that is, unless that person actually speaks that language, because I know some schools may use like Google Translate, those machine translation tools are not accurate. And you wouldn't know if there's an offensive word there or not. So we try to tell schools only use that for like emails or text messages, something short, and do not use any student information there, because we don't know where those machine translation tools are storing the information.
Thank you. You know, just one suggestion I would make is, I don't think parents really know about the availability of the services. It might make sense just even in the lobby of a school, just when you first come in, just to have those notices posted in a lot of different languages.
So schools do receive posters and brochures to put up around the schools to let parents be aware of these services. And also on the other end, like I say, I'm here trying to put the word out to all the parents to let them know and inform them. I'm a one-man show right now, but I'm trying to move around the city.
Thank you. Any other questions? So,
I'll make this very quick. So you mentioned sometimes schools don't know languages are spoken in their schools, but I think that's wrong, right? Because every family that enrolls fills out a language survey, a language preference survey. So I'm curious whether your office keeps data on compliance and how many, for example, per school have you requests for translations during, or interpretation during IEP meetings, during parent-teacher conferences, during some of these very milestone important moments in a child's life. Do you guys know, for example, if there's a school where 30% are Russian speaking and 60% are Haitian Creole speaking, how often that school actually requests translation or interpretation services for those students?
Yes, we have data that actually I handed to Victor, the same data, some of the data I showed on the screen. We collect data from how many schools use the translation services and interpretation for IEPs as well, especially for IEPs. So if you, my email is rwilliams32@schools.nyc.gov. You shoot me an email, I can give you that, those numbers.
Do any other council members have any questions for Mr. Williams?
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you. So the next item on our agenda is the annual Contracts for Excellence, also known as the C4E presentation. This presentation is required to be completed, I believe, by June 21st. That's why we're doing it tonight. And we have members of Superintendent McGuire's staff here, and I'd like you to just introduce yourselves and just tell everybody what C4E stands for.
If we turn on,
Would you like two microphones? Or you guys?
You could share.
there's a tiny button there. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the annual C3 Community Engagement Session. I'm Deputy Superintendent Kelly Shannon. I want to thank you for allowing myself and Deputy Superintendent Dr. Higgins time on your schedule to engage with you on these important matters. This evening, we are joined by our budget matter expert, Sunny Ashford. Can you raise your hand, Sunny? Good evening. Who supports our schools with budget and grant-related matters. Today, we share our plan for state contracts for excellence funding, also known as C4E, and for our proposed class size reduction plan, a newer part of the contracts for excellence process. I will review each topic and then provide the process for public comments for each. Again, thank you for allowing us time on the agenda today. Let's dive into the presentation. Today we will discuss the topic for the upcoming 24-25 school year. I will provide an overview of the funding, share dollar amounts allocated to DOE, and how the funding will be allocated to schools, and impose restrictions on how some of the funds are spent. At the end of each topic, we will share how you can provide comments on what has been presented. The two topics we will discuss this evening are state C4E and class size. The state C4E portion of the presentation is being recorded, and any feedback, public comments related to C4E will be submitted on your behalf. You may also share feedback, public comments, or information shared in this presentation by using the designated email address noted after each topic. I will point out the designated email address at the conclusion of each topic. Our New York City Public Schools team will be taking public comments received into consideration in the coming weeks in alignment with the public process. The first topic being presented today, contracts for excellence, also commonly referred to as C4E. First, let me provide some background on C4E. C4E legislation was established as part of the 2007 and 8 enacted state budget under Foundation Aid, and requires that a portion of Foundation Aid be used for specific restricted purposes. CPE requires that funding be allocated towards specific programs that raise the achievement of our students with the greatest educational need, including but not limited to those students with limited English proficiency, students in poverty, and students with disabilities. We are required by state law to annually develop through a public process, a citywide contract for excellence and community school district contract for excellence. The public process is how parents, families, teachers, and other school community members and interested parties provide input about the citywide and community school district C4Es and about the allocation of C4E funding in their schools. Our public process includes this meeting as well as other meetings that superintendents will be conducting across the city with their respective CECs and 5-hour hearings that will also be happening during this period of time. Although the C4E process is not new, we have submitted a C4E plan since 2008. Under recent changes to state law, the timeline for this process, including district C4E presentations, has changed. We are now required to start the process no later than 30 days after an enacted national and state budget. We also are required to provide notice of public process 15 days prior to the first public hearing. State law requires that community school district contracts for excellence be presented by superintendents or deputy superintendents at CEC meetings to enable public comment on those C4E plans. To that end, we will be recording all comments made at this meeting. This important process allows families and community members an opportunity to provide input about how their schools are funded. It is an essential element in the C4E plan that the New York City Public Schools submits to the state, which the state must approve in order for New York City Public Schools to receive C4E funding. Funding must be spent only within the following initiatives. For illustration, examples of programs by initiative subject to state education department approval are included below. Additional instructional time on task, an example would be extended school day or school year initiatives. Model programs for multilingual learners, an example would be an expansion of bilingual resource materials in libraries. Full day, pre-kindergarten and kindergarten, an example would be adding classes, additional staff, and or course related to implementing full day pre-kindergarten for K. Class size reduction, an example would be hiring and placing additional teachers in the classroom to reduce the student-teacher ratio. Teacher and principal quality initiatives. An example would be the creation of non-cash incentive program to encourage high-quality teachers to teach in high-need areas. Middle high school restructure. An example would be expanding participation in advanced placement programs. Additionally, the State Education Department Commissioner may authorize districts to implement experimental programs. Such authorization must be granted in advance of implementation. More information about eligible uses and requirements may be found at the New York State Education Department's website, which is listed here. Each year, New York State Education Department sets New York City Public Schools C4E amount based on annual increases in foundation aid in excess of 3%. In fiscal year 2025, the amount of funding we must designate for C4E is increasing by $45 million to $830 million. It is also important to note that there has been $183 million of C4E embedded in fair student funding since 2007 and 2008. In the upcoming school year, this funding will continue to be part of fair student funding. However, it will be identified as C4E and allocated separately from fair student funding. Additionally, it will be restricted to be used for teacher salaries only to ensure full utilization. This is not a new use of this allocation. It has always been assumed that C4E embedded in FSS, fair student funding, supported teacher salaries. This just demonstrates that more clearly. Were this funding to be used for another purpose, the Department of Education would not be able to continue funding all schools at 100% fair student funding. Now for the breakdown of the C4E funding. We categorize C4E allocations as discretionary and targeted. Discretionary means that schools may use C4E funding in any eligible way that best meets the needs of their students. Targeted means that C4E is being used to support a specific program, and schools must use C4E funding in support of that program. Of the $803 million, $487 million of it will be allocated as discretionary C4E, and $316 million will be allocated as targeted. The $316 million of targeted programs now include $183 million of fair student funding to be used towards teacher salaries, $87 million for integrated co-teaching classrooms, $30 million for academic summer programming, $9 million for full-day pre-K, and $7 million for autism spectrum disorder classrooms. Let's take a closer look at citywide proposed allocations. Combined discretionary funding, existing, which is over 55%, and new, 5.6%, makes up 60% of the proposed allocations. Targeted allocations make up 39%, with a greater share of that being attributable to fair student funding at 22.78%. Integrated co-teaching classrooms, summer programs, full-day pre-Ks, and autism spectrum disorder classrooms make up 16.5% combined. Now for our proposed district allocations. We will take public feedback into account in the coming weeks as we continue to work towards complying with this mandate. The deadline for submitting public comments will be June 24, 2024. Please share your comments and feedback by using the C4E email address you see on the screen. I'm now going to turn it over to my partner, Dr. Anna.
Now we are moving to the second major topic. We already discussed the C4E funding stream. Now we will wrap up by discussing the class size reduction plan. In September 2022, Governor Hochul enacted Chapter 556 of the laws of 2022, which requires the New York City school districts to create a 5-year class size reduction plan for all New York City K-12 community districts and high schools. Chapter 556 sets forth requirements that apply only to the New York City school district, including new class size caps for all public K-12 community district and high schools, a class size reduction plan which must be approved by the United Federation of Teachers, UFT, and the Council of School Supervisors and Administrators, CSA, the unions representing New York City school district teachers and principals respectively, and submitted as part of a contract for excellence. A prescribed timeline for the public process for the development, posting, and submission of a contract for excellence, annual implementation reports on the status of a class size reduction plan, penalties in the form of reduced state funding if adequate progress to reduce class size is not made. The law imposes specific class size caps within the New York City School District for the first time. Prior legislation required a plan to reduce average class sizes and did not set forth specific average class size caps. Class size caps had previously been set subject to collective bargaining agreements between New York City Public Schools and the UFT and could be exceeded in certain circumstances. As a reminder, the law prescribes specific class size caps of 20 students in K-3, 23 students in 4 to 8, and 25 students in 9 to 12, and 40 students in PE and performing groups, all grades. On May 7th, New York City Public Schools released a draft version of the class size reduction plan for the 24-25 school year. As a reminder, this plan must be signed off on by the United Federation of Teachers, UFT, the Council for School Supervisors and Administrators, CSA, in addition to New York City Public Schools. The posted version has not yet been signed off on by the UFT or CSA. As noted in the plan itself, New York City Public Schools is currently in compliance with the law for the 23-24 school year. New York City Public Schools anticipates continuing to be in compliance for the 24-25 school year and has made policy changes in the plan that will ensure we will meet the compliance target of 40% for the 24-25 school year. The draft plan includes specific actions for schools along with a breadth of commitments to implementation that we are undertaking across the New York City Public School Central Offices alongside the School Construction Authority, which I will discuss in more detail on the next slide. The public is able to provide feedback on the draft plan via this process. The email to share feedback is in the final slide of this section. Now, I will highlight some components of the draft plan. At the start of the draft plan, we highlight critical data points regarding current compliance across the city. Our compliance rate for school year 23-24 is 40%. The required benchmark for this school year is 20%. The changes proposed in the plan, we believe, will ensure we continue to meet benchmarks for school year 24-25 of 40%. Data shows that the districts with the greatest percentage of classes at or below the class size caps are in District 23, Ocean Hill, Brownsville, 7, Mott Haven, Melrose, and 16, Stuyvesant Heights, Crown Heights. District 26, Bayside, Glen Oaks, 28, Forest Hill, Jamaica Hills, and 31, Staten Island, and have the lowest percentage of classes at or below the class size caps. The Bronx is the most compliant borough with 54% compliance, while Staten Island is the least compliant at 24%. Our highest need quartile schools are 62% compliant. Our lowest need quartile of schools are 25% compliant. We continue to expect to need 10 to 12,000 teachers, of which 3,000 to 4,000 will be special education. Next, I will provide an overview of key components of plan. The draft plan includes the development of district-level targets for all districts across the city. All superintendents of schools covered by the law will be asked to improve compliance across their district by 3%. This includes an accompanying menu of possible options that superintendents and teams can work with schools to implement and include strategies like repurposing space, maximizing teacher programming, fully programming existing instructional space, reallocating funding to support class size reduction, utilizing multi-session programming, and considering virtual learning as a strategy. This approach allows New York City Public Schools to drive compliance at a citywide scale with the flexibility for superintendents and schools to determine the best path forward for their school and community context. The draft plan also outlines the addition of funding for class size, including an additional $45 million in C4E funds, which can be used for class size or any other eligible purposes, and an additional $137 million that schools may only be used for class size, but may also be subject to C4E. The draft plan also outlines a significant effort around teacher recruitment and hiring. These action items include providing a robust package of hiring resources to schools, including an earlier application window for hiring teachers in high-need school, peer recruiters, school tours for prospective candidates in the Bronx, and increasing the number of early recruitment stipends. New York City Public Schools also commits to expanding pathways for current New York City Public School students to become teachers with work within the Office of Student Pathways and in supporting paraprofessionals and teachers' aides in becoming teachers. New York City Public Schools also outlines its commitments around capital planning with the school construction authority to ensure that we are working collectively to increase the number of available seats where there are needs. Included in the report is a table that illustrates the timing and school district impacts for 27,000 seats coming online from the previous capital plan, as well as a detailed list of which schools will be positively impacted by the new construction. The class size working group met through most of 2023 to deeply understand the law and make recommendations to the Chancellor to consider as New York City Public Schools works to implement the law. The draft plan does act on many of class size working group's recommendations, including the following recommendations for each committee. From the enrollment and space and capital planning committees, relevant New York City Public School divisions should work together with SEA on a unified class size plan. Develop and implement an information gathering survey. New York City Public Schools should develop a plan that includes repurposing and maximizing existing school space. Recognize the need for more school space and capital construction. Improve strategies to identify sites for schools and expand classroom space. Hiring and staffing subcommittee. Beginning in the 2023-24 school year, the working group recommends prioritizing hiring teachers with an earlier application window for high-need schools that have class sizes above the mandated limits located in the harder-to-staff districts. Create a formalized process for human resources in the New York City Public Schools to perform exit interviews. Collaborate with SUNY, CUNY, and regional universities to help connect New York City Public Schools with undergraduates. Work with current New York City Public School students and graduates to develop pathways to become teachers, build and strengthen pipelines for paraprofessional and teacher aides to become teachers. Budget and Finance Committee. New York City Public Schools should engage in a modeling that does not just consider overall expense, but the ability for a wide range of types of schools to meet costs. Aggressively pursue new opportunities for potential funding from New York State and federal resources, including New York City Public Schools increasing their advocacy for these funds. As a reminder, this is a draft version that has not yet been signed off on by the United Federation of Teachers or Council for School Supervisors and Administrators, who are required to sign off on our final plan. We will now share the process for providing feedback on the draft class size reduction plan on the following slide. We will consider all feedback received on our proposed plan during the public process. The deadline for submitting public comment will be June 24th, 2024. Those who wish to provide feedback may submit their comments by email to classsize@schools.nyc.gov. This concludes the presentation. Please be mindful of all the email addresses provided for public comment for each section. Thank you for your time. I will let you return to your very important end of year meeting agenda, but before I do, I want to thank this community for all the hard work and collaboration this school year. I wish you all a good summer and look forward to a successful 2023-24 school year. Thank you.
Any council members have any questions? Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
It's a tiny button.
Right.
Okay.
Good evening, council. Good evening, public. I just wanted to add one more statement. I apologize. With regards to C4E, there is an additional increase in foundation aid of $137 million that is planned to be allocated to support schools in meeting the state's class size reduction mandate, and may also be subject to some relief. Sorry, I have to get there.
Do any council members have any questions regarding the C4E?
Sorry. A couple of questions, Superintendent McGuire. First question is, the Deputy Superintendent mentioned, and on all these three questions, you may not have an answer, and if you don't have an answer, it's okay to say that, so I fully understand it. Virtual learning as a strategy. Can you talk about what that means? Because when people hear virtual learning, they have very, very different reactions. Some people are perfectly fine, they welcome it for a lot of reasons. Others have a violent reaction, very violent reaction to those terms. So could you talk about what that would mean?
If Sunny wants to add to it, certainly can. Virtual learning is not a strategy that we are seeking in our mostly 3K to 8 district. The only situation that we might pursue virtual learning would be to expand opportunities for kids, but not as a strategy for reducing class size to meet this goal.
Okay, thank you. The second thing, which is also what does this mean? Reallocating space. Does that mean students will lose music rooms or students may lose a gym? I mean, I remember when I was in high school, and even junior high school, I think, I had math in the gym because they didn't have enough rooms and enough classrooms. Is that a possibility where we may be losing these wonderful extra spaces to accommodate this rule? What exactly does that mean, reallocating space?
Right now, our eyes are on the 3% reduction that we need to achieve for the fall. We won't need to do any kind of reallocation of spaces for the 24-25 school year. We think that we can handle that with the resources that are currently in the building, teaching staff, and programs. But when we get to the 25-26 school year and we need to think about how it is that we're going to meet this 60% threshold as a city, then I think a new set of strategies are going to be on the table. It could be something that is done in District 2. I know that several districts were listed as the districts that were least compliant with this bill. Were pretty after that in terms of not having very many of our classrooms currently in compliance. So there are going to need to be some creative things done in our district if we are to meet the bill as it currently stands.
And then what I think will be my final question, which is looking towards the much longer term. One of the strategies would be to build new schools, and I think School Construction Authority got a lot of money, billions of dollars to build new schools. And that'll be across the city, it's not a District 2 specific thing, but it's across the city. What is, in your experience, the timeline for building a new school? In other words, let's say we have to be 60% compliant in, 2 years and then 80%. You can't build a school overnight, right? I mean, I remember when they were building this school, it was over several years, and that's the construction, and there were several years of planning before that. So in your experience, what is a timeline or time to completion, soup to nuts, for building a new school? Because is that achievable? Is that a realistic strategy in the short term over the next 4 years to achieve that 100% or whatever number of years?
I don't think we will be able to rely on new schools in District 2 to meet the class size bill. We currently have 2 schools that are in the pipeline, one of which was actually supposed to been started already, one in Hudson Square, and another one that is slated for Hudson Yards area. The one in Hudson Square is kind of similar to Spruce Street in that it is part of a commercial and residential building as well. But the developer has not yet begun that project. So it is really hard to predict how long these projects take.
Do you know, and maybe somebody on the CEC who's been here longer than I have, how long it took to build this school? I'm asking, I don't know. I don't know if the principals.
I don't know. Okay. I mean, Clinton actually, has been around for a long time.
I'm thinking it's like a 10-year process probably, right?
And it was also, it was temporarily housed in a couple of other spaces before we moved.
Right, but barring unforeseen circumstances, listen, we can get an influx of people moving into this neighborhood, that would be great. But barring something unseen, you don't expect that we will need new buildings in this district to comply?
Certainly not for 25-26.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Any other council members have any questions of Superintendent Dwyer? Superintendent Dwyer, two quick questions. The projections for the class size, are they based on a level of enrollment in District 2? For example, based on a certain figure that you have and you're anticipating for the coming years?
Are you talking about the connection between the C4E dollars and how much money it would take in order to meet the class size bill?
Correct. Or I presume you have an estimate, or somebody's looked at it, certain districts might need more, certain districts might need more space based on enrollment and how many seats we have right now, or how many, what the projections are. Are your projections So the 3% or whatever it is for the coming years, are they based on a certain number, like of students enrolled in the district?
I mean, there certainly would be a number that would be far greater than that, which is allocated currently to the district, but I don't have that specific.
And you don't know what the specific number is right now for like the current enrollment and what you're projecting? Are you projecting a larger enrollment in the coming years or a contraction?
For next year, we are expected to grow slightly. Currently with 3K, pre-K, we are somewhere around 24,000 students. We are expected to grow a bit. I have some more information about our middle school enrollment when I do my report.
And you talked about, I think you were talking about system-wide, 10,000 teachers or something. I can't imagine that's for District 2. Do you know what the percentage or the number of teachers you're estimating you need in this district would be?
I don't, because there would be different strategies that we would take. There would be dollars that would be allocated to different things, and there would be different rules that would be set up to define the policy that we would have to work within. So,
and do you have an expectation that those new teachers are going to be experienced teachers, or are they going to be more on the less experienced?
I think that's very hard.
And currently, what's the current rate of teacher attrition in the district? People who tend to retire each year, do you have a figure on that or a percentage?
I don't have it right now, but I can get it for you. It changes from year to year, obviously. Our rate of retention is very high in this district. But you know, as people grow older and take advantage of the retirement plans that are available to them, it varies from year to year. We are proud to say that we have a high rate of retention for our teachers.
And then finally, it sounds like for next year, we're okay, but after that, things could get a little crazy. Is that what I'm perceiving from you?
I think that it would get very difficult to, in this district, to be able to comply with the 60% or even make our contribution to that 60%, even though that's a citywide figure, that's 60% citywide, it would be difficult for us to contribute to that.
Okay, because I go back, and I remember visiting at my son's school, my oldest boy is now in college, and I remember seeing people literally teaching in in closets. So I hope we don't have that repeat of that situation or coming out. Okay, do any other council members have any questions? Okay, thank you, Superintendent McGuire. I guess the next item on our agenda is the first public speaker session. Let me this is for everybody out there. I'm asking Craig to tell me how many people we have signed up, because we've got to come up with some sort of a system to balance the amount of time that everyone's going to get to speak, so we can finish the meeting tonight. So how many?
About 40, roughly 40.
So we have about 40. If it's a minute and a half, which I think is a little too optimistic, I believe that would be about 60 minutes. Let's try to allocate 1 minute and 15 seconds right now. But please, I just implore anyone that's speaking tonight, just try to keep to the time limit that we're imposed, because you're just taking time away from everybody else. So with that being said, and we can adjust this, and we can, if we go quickly, we might be able to have more time for the second public speaking session.
1:30, you said?
Let's do
1:15.
1:15. Okay. So why don't I do it
Lenny, you think
here for that, and you do it for us?
Let's
Like,
have
you know,
Yeah, perfect.
Still has better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so again, we're gonna, please don't go off, we'll cut you off after a certain period of time, so, Craig, can you call the first, and if you can come up here,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And we're gonna have the students go first, just to remind everybody.
Yeah, so if you put an S next to your name, and you've identified yourself as a student, we're willing to take you first.
Okay, Evelyn Blake.
Evelyn Blake.
Up there.
I think the first page actually has a number 1 on that, and that would be Mila with the S.
Oh, okay, I thought it was Mila S. Sorry, I thought it was Mila S.
Oh, okay,
S, it's Pal,
Yeah.
and Mila.
Yeah, okay, so Mila S.
thank you. Okay, Mila,
Pal is her brother, so he's gonna go up too, and Maria's her mom, and she's just gonna go up with her.
okay.
I'm in 7th grade. I speak 4 languages, and I'm my school student representative. And of course, I'm a transgender. Now, in my opinion, sport is one of the most crucial things for a child. And for you to just take that away, actually, pardon me, let me rephrase that. For you to force people like me to play with boys, I don't know in what world you could be doing that and be respecting my gender identity at the same time. Those two things don't go together. I'm in middle school, and in middle school there's a bunch of boxes that you have to fit into. I'm a girl, so of course I have to fit into the girl box. Now, I like playing sports sometimes with my friends, but if you force me to play with the boys, that's taking me out of the girl box and shoving me into the boy box, which is too small for me. I don't understand why adults, especially adults who aren't transgender, tell me and the entire trans community what to do, who they are, what their gender identity means. And look at me in the eye, in my flesh, and tell me that I'm a boy. I'm not, and you can't do that.
I'm sorry, I just want to check, make sure I'm following the list. What's your name?
Maria.
Okay.
My name is Maria. I am 43 years old. I am a dedicated humanitarian worker, and I'm working in an international humanitarian organization here in New York. And I am also the very proud father of Paz and Mila. One day, when Mila was 2.5 years old, she asked me if boys could have girls' names. Without hesitating, I said, yes, of course. From that moment, Mila's gender identity journey began. We have been fortunate because our story is one of love and acceptance. Mila is cherished so deeply by our whole family, friends, and at her school that her gender identity is not even a discussion point anymore. She has filled our lives with unimaginable happiness and love. She's the daughter I always dreamed of. I have to ask you, please look at my daughter. And do you really think you can tell me, her mom, that my daughter should have to compete in boys' sports, with boys, in sports, because she is seen as a threat to other girls? Look at her. Mila is a girl, and nobody should be attacking my daughter just because she's a transgender girl. Mila, I know you just want to be happy and in your sports with your friends. I promise I will do whatever I can so that nobody forces you to stop being the girl you are. You are the best brother she could have, and pass the solution 254. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Al. I am Mila's brother. I am
PTA team in my club. I have a question. Why can't trans people play for teams which they identify with? Why? What's the big deal? My second point is that at school, I read books about kids breaking barriers to fulfill their dreams, and I really hope that in the near future, all kids will learn to break all barriers, including gender barriers, not just the uncontroversial ones. Forcing my sister to play with boys is like fire force you that you don't feel comfortable with. That's something that's out of your skin. Why would you ask her to do that? That makes me feel very pretty angry and disappointed in civilization. You have to get some John and beautiful. Still need to mention. Pastor, so you should too go for it.
The next speakers are Ellen and Lena.
My name is Lena. I'm a third grade student. The gender guidelines made sense, saying that kids, no matter their gender, could play sport and choose what gender they feel like. I hope we can help others get treated fairly and show their queerness to the world. If there were no gender guidelines, trans kids would not
If there were no gender guidelines, it would be very hard for trans kids to be successful. Thank you. My name is Ellen Bax. I'm the parent of that third grade student. I'm also a curriculum writer and professional developer for New York City Public Schools all over New York City. Children, as we have heard, are not interested in the gender policing of their classmates and teammates. Children understand that their classmates' genders are various. They want their teammates to feel safe. They do not want their teammates' athletic performance to be negatively impacted by worries about their gender. They want their teammates to be able to focus on the game, not be occupied by fighting for their existence. Let children self-determine their gender. Let student athletes focus on the game. What's under their uniform is of no concern to you or any other adult.
Thank you. Is this working? Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, I don't know. The next speaker is Lexi S.
I think that was her.
That was, oh, it was a different, okay, different sign up, okay. Let's see, Ava?
Oh, is it Lexi?
Oh, that is, is that Lexi?
Oh, Lexi.
Oh, okay. That worked, that's right.
I'm a children's author, a local babysitter. So much of all our life to this space as a trans person, a former national athlete, and and this is our responsibility. And the reason I bring up that confirmation, excuse me, can you please put down your phone while talking? I said, excuse me, okay? I really hope that you're listening. And for which I will say again. Get off your
Okay. Guys, I want to listen to the speaker, please. I understand your point, but I want to hear what you have to say,
What are the
please.
rules for the committee? And their attention, which we deserve. Oh, now that's what?
They're not listening to the speaker and they're just focusing on their phones. I'm not respecting kindergarten. I don't see any of those
Okay.
priorities.
You record us, we're proud to be here. I'm a former national ranking athlete, a trans person, and a survivor of child sexual abuse. And the reason I bring up that confirmation is because so many of these conversations are ultimately about protection. A very specific idea amongst so many people in power, what does it mean to protect a child, trans or not, survivor or not? And I have to say that my sport, the one that I did, is the only reason I did that I have a body. It's the only reason I don't have legs. It's the only reason I don't have breath. My sport is the reason I'm here today because it gave me a place to go after school. There's a little less time at home. There's a little more to learn somewhere else. Where no one would touch me. And it's very painful to see those ways, as someone who's really taking my heart, but I will say most of all that my sport was necessary because this is the thing that I spent my life. Maybe not when I cut myself because I want my coach to see, and maybe not when I run away because I wanted to get practice. It's the reason I got to the school that I got into. It was says on my application letter. And it's also about getting to school, but it's also about just knowing that there was a place I could be and environment. And so this isn't really just about sports. It's agency and giving myself the tools to protect myself, protect my future. And so we want to protect young people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next speaker is Ava. Ava?
Len, what is that ring? That's happening?
It's
That's
the
the
timer.
timer.
It's
It's a time.
He was only supposed to have a minute and 50
Yeah,
seconds.
otherwise not everybody will be able to speak. You will be picked out here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
The microphone's there.
The microphone is, I think, over there. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Nick. I want to give an award to all the people who are protecting trans kids. When I call your name, raise your hand and we will bring an award to you. Gather. right place.
Thank you. Evelyn, I think your mom. Okay.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Blake. My pronouns are she, her, they. I'm in 4th grade, I'm 10 years old, and here's a short poem that I wrote. Trans girls are girls. Trans boys are boys. Trans kids are kids, and they should be able to play sports just like me. A pangender fluid girl. Resolution 248 is a direct violation of our rights as students, as kids, as humans. Pass resolution 254, not 248.
It's fine, it's
okay.
not working
It's fine.
anyway.
It's fine, it's fine. We'll just do this.
Hi, my name is Ava, and I am a senior at Stuyvesant High School. I'm on the girls' basketball team and girls' flag football team. I'm editor of the sports section of the school newspaper, manager of the boys' football team, and founder of the Stuyvesant Athletic Association, and I plan to pursue a career in the business of sports. I've been coach for athletic director and many of the coaches and school administration as I've worked to bring more sports culture to Stuyvesant. Something I've learned through both sports and school is the value of being curious, open-minded, and listening to every voice. That's why I'm surprised that there's been resistance to Resolution 248, which as far as I can tell is about listening. As a female athlete, I have input on the changes made to the 2019 guidelines on gender in sports and education, with which I disagree. I don't know any female athlete or coach who was consulted, but I know that every athlete and coach is affected. I hope the Chancellor and others know that each student athlete deserves to be heard where concerns are safety. I was shocked that those backing this resolution are being silenced, because my New York City education has always taught me that balanced conversation is crucial in decision making. Sports have truly changed my life and made me into the person I am today. My hope remains that every student has the opportunity to participate in sports safely and fairly with a focus on the game, and I trust that we all have that in common. I thank CECD2 for passing Resolution 248 to protect girls' sports, and I urge you to vote no on Resolution 254. Thank you.
Thank you. Rosa M. I'm trying not to use last names of students. Is there a Rosa M? Okay. Are there any students who I've not called because it's maybe confusing on this list? So are there any students that wanted to speak that I have not called? Because I want to give you an opportunity. Okay? Great, thank you. So the first speaker is going to be Karen Wiener.
If you go back to page 1, that's not the first student.
Oh, sorry, Matt, sorry, the pages got mixed up. Matt Driscoll.
Can I just ask a question? Would you just put that up, just stand that up, you don't mind?
It's not working.
It's not working, never mind. Don't worry.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm a middle school teacher here at Cliff. I am here today to stand in support of all of our students' right to be their authentic selves, to stand in support of today's resolution to rescind Resolution 248. Our moral and legal obligation is to protect transgender students from discrimination. Resolution 248 is full of misinformation and lies, pretending to protect students from intimidation, taunting, harassment, and bullying. In reality, this resolution serves only to further marginalize a group of students who have long been victims of hate and violence. It is shameful that this resolution was ever introduced, let alone passed by an elected body. The primary mission is to advocate for our students. A quick story from today. I was walking with a couple of my colleagues during lunch, and on our way back, we ran into some of my 7th grade students who are in the Clinton GSA. They saw that I was wearing this t-shirt, they got excited, gave me high fives. They were going to Stonewall to commemorate the 75th anniversary. All of our students deserve that support, that celebration, not what this resolution did.
Chase Strangel.
I want to speak to Mila, Sapal, Selena. My name is Chase Rangio. I am a District 2 parent. I've had a child in District 2 schools for 7 years. I'm also a civil rights lawyer. I spend my time fighting against anti-trans policies around the country. And as I've said time and time again, it pains me that this is happening in my own school district. But I'm also glad that I happen to be a District 2 parent, so that I can come back again and again and talk to you about the law, what the law actually says, and what it does. And what it does. If 2% was just about sports, then there would not be the rhetoric that is in the whereas clause that diminishes the gender guidance more broadly, that uses anti-trans rhetoric. And we hear time and time again that this is just about asking questions. But that is not how civil rights laws work. And we know that you don't have the power to change what is mandated by federal, state, and city law. So at the end of the day, you're doing this to make a statement about how you feel about trans people. So we're here to make it count. Over and over again.
The next speaker is Zane.
Z-A-N-E, Zane, I'm guessing. Zane.
I think they were students.
Okay. Justin.
Hello, my name is... Hello, my name is Justin. I'm with the New York chapter of Gays Against Groomers. We are a coalition of LGBT individuals fighting against the sexualization, medicalization, and indoctrination of children. The very fact that this topic is even up for debate is absurd and defies common sense. A common sense solution for trans students, athletes, would be to have a trans division available. Why create a conflict with those girl athletes who may feel uncomfortable and don't want any part of this? But of course, the common sense solution is not good enough. Nothing ever is. I'm here to advise those who stand boldly in common sense not to let the pressure and attacks get to you. Let them call you every name in the book. Who cares? Trans girls are not girls. And in the first place, there is no such thing as a trans girl. But let them compete in separate division. We need to take the feelings out of this and recognize that biology and science defies everything. Not emotions. Boys and girls are different, and people's emotions don't change that. I ask you
we'd like to let.
I'm gonna make a motion that the last, I'm gonna make a motion that the last speaker.
Can you hand the microphone? Can you hand the microphone? Can you hand the microphone to us? We can't get it, sorry.
Can I get the microphone? All right, everyone listen. Please, first of all, can I have everyone's attention? Speakers done speaking. We have a lot of speakers. I know everyone, a lot of people have signed up. I really do want to give them the opportunity to speak when they speak. Please, let's just give people the opportunity to speak. You don't have to agree with them, but let's let everyone have an opportunity to speak. Because otherwise, we're not going to have enough time. We're not going to be able to finish this meeting, and I want to make sure that everyone who came here has that fair opportunity. So,
What does that have? What's going on with it?
Len, I'm going to make a motion that anyone who's silenced because of a heckler's veto will be allowed to regain their time and speak again. For the record, that motion has been seconded by Charles Love.
okay, there's a motion that's been made, it's been seconded, so now we have a discussion on the motion. So, does anyone want to speak on this motion? Okay, the motion, anyone have anything to say? All right, I'm going to call this for, the motion as called, I understand, is to extend the time period for anyone who was either silenced or not an opportunity to be heard because of heckling or noise from the
Also, Len, following that motion, I'd like to make a motion that anybody who does not have the full undivided attention of this council gets their time back. I listen, we all listen, I understand the passion, and I'm listening, and we're all listening, but could you please, it's disruptive.
People, we're all listening.
They are giving us respect. We demand the respect to be heard when they're enacting policies that directly affect the youth.
Okay, I'm gonna just ask security to remove anyone that's not.
Point of order.
Point of order, what's the point? There's a motion.
My point of order is that there are 4 people standing to block speakers based on viewpoint discrimination, and they're using their physical bodies to harass speakers. Attendees should be instructed to
Let's deal with the first motion that we have on the floor. I will deal with this in a minute. Let's deal with the first motion.
Okay, I'm gonna call for the vote. We need to do this. Pre-Bopperai? Okay, this is this is Maud's motion.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to extend the time period for anyone who's been disrupted. That's basically the motion.
Okay, pre-Bopperai.
Yes.
Pre-Bopperai, yes. Allison Bowen.
Yes.
Allison Bowen, yes. Daniela Egorov.
Yes.
Daniela Egorov, yes. Gavin Healy.
No.
Gavin Healy, no. Charles Love.
I don't know what you're voting on.
Charles Love. Okay, Charles Love.
What was it again?
It's a motion to extend the time of people who have been disrupted so they can speak.
Yes.
Maud Marin.
Yes.
Sonal Patel.
Abstain.
Jessica Savage.
No.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg.
Abstain.
Sabina Serenise.
Yes.
Sabina Saren, sorry. For the people at the audience, I'm going to repeat the votes because they can't hear when it's just talking. So Preet Bopparai was a yes, Allison Bowen is a yes, Daniela Egorov is a yes, Gavin Healy is a no, Charles Love is a yes, Maud Maron is a yes, Sonal Patel is an abstain, Jessica Savage is a no, Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg is an abstain, Sabina Serenise is a yes, Leonard Silverman?
Yes.
Leonard Silverman is a yes, Craig Slutsky is going to abstain, the motion passes 7-3-3. Wait, we didn't get up to that yet. We're doing one at a time.
So, did you make a motion?
I did.
Did you want to make your motion?
Repeat it.
I second it.
Could you repeat
Yeah,
it? Sorry, for the
Motion-
record.
the motion's got to be formally made.
I make a motion to return to the speaker at any time in which the speaker does not have undivided attention of this council.
I second the motion.
I don't even think that's possible.
Anyone wants that?
But whatever, let's just call it for.
One is possible, but not gonna pass.
Okay, sorry. Preet Bopparai. Preet Bopparai, yes. Allison Bowen.
Abstention.
Allison Bowen, abstain. Daniela Egorov.
No.
Daniela Egorov, no. Gavin Healy.
Yes.
Gavin Healy, yes. Charles Love.
No.
Charles Love, no. Maud Maron.
No.
Maud Maron, no. Sonal Patel.
Yes.
Sonal Patel, yes. Jessica Savage.
Yes.
Jessica Savage, yes. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg.
Yes.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenise.
No.
Sabina Serenise, no. Leonard Silverman.
I'll abstain.
Leonard Silverman abstain, and Craig Slutskin will abstain as well, because I don't know how you would force this, but, so motion does not pass 5-4 to 3.
Okay, look. Okay, guys, I know, I can feel the passion, trust me, I feel it, and I think we feel it up here. But it's 8:34, and there's a lot of people that are signed up to speak. So if we can get through, we can have this discussion as long as we let people speak. So let's call the next speaker.
Let's let the guy
Thank you. Amaya Perez.
No, we gotta let the guy speak.
Let's deal with that.
According to our motion, we should let the speaker.
We'll deal with that.
It's a going forward basis.
Scream it, girl.
I can't stop.
We can, we have to stop.
I mean, we can cancel the whole thing.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
We might just cancel the whole thing.
That's not fair.
Wait, just.
No, that's not fair.
Okay, guys, please. We're gonna wait as long as it takes.
Then nobody's gonna speak. Nobody's gonna speak.
I think you can be heard with a mic.
I'm not gonna go for a motion.
Yeah, you can't allow this. They're disrupting. You can't allow this.
It's ridiculous. Disrespectful.
What I think we're gonna do is, if we can't continue due to the disruption, I'm gonna ask that the security clear the hall, and we can bring people in either individually to speak, or we can just have our meeting without members of the public.
As you're proceeding, disinformation is speech, as we're proceeding, disinformation.
You know what I'm gonna say, so you should be quiet. And respect other people's opinions.
Okay.
Ma'am, sorry. Let us do after that.
Security gonna come.
You know what?
Okay, sir, please.
Sir, please.
That's not helpful.
That's not helpful, that's not helpful.
How many other people do you have?
A lot.
One.
We have a lot.
You can just cancel.
So what's happening right now is taking away from everyone else who wants to speak tonight. So either you want to be heard or you don't want to be heard.
Oh, God.
Let's just cancel the speaking.
Yeah, I think we should just clear the, I think we should just clear the, Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to just either clear the room or.
sir, please, no side, no.
But they're taking over, that's
I
not
know, I don't want him screaming, that's not helpful either.
If they won't let them speak, then. Okay, Len, listen, just speak.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, is it, if you bring forward one at a time, does it violate open meeting? This isn't all about, I just, yeah, you should just cancel public speaking session, I agree, if they don't let me.
I'm gonna,
You're gonna violate the law now. You're gonna violate the law now. You're gonna violate the law if you.
You wanna speak so bad?
Anthony, could you come here for a second, please?
I don't care if it's over the hump, I'm okay with just speaking over the hump.
Yeah.
It's not nice for you.
I understand though, I respect it.
But we can't have the precedent. We can't have the precedent.
Nobody wins. Not okay.
One side cannot speak, the other cannot either.
Okay, so no one gets a chance to speak and the meeting ends and then another.
That's what they want. They want nobody to speak.
Just go off the stage and go back there where the lights get out and fire.
Don't.
We're so fun. Relax, no one's tired. I was relaxing. Because you're triggered over anyone.
For the folks,
I'm triggered because you're
okay, for the folks at home, just bear with us, we're just figuring out what we're gonna do, so bear with us for a couple of minutes. Thank you, sorry for the delay.
Being aware has nothing to do with your thing.
Let's cancel.
If I was trans, what would you say to my face? You're still transphobic. That's what I'd say. Think yourself.
Okay, let's let Len and Superintendent deal with this.
We're very happy with what you're doing. So you're ableist too. Keep calling people psychopaths.
It's true.
Talking about. You came here to do this. You know you came here.
It's a precedent. No, it's a precedent. They cannot. It's not okay.
What is this?
Exactly. I would have said.
Why is he get out? It's reporting out here. I wish you would.
Yeah.
Reporting what you want. That's why you're very loud. You're upset. Because you're upset. Why are you upset? I'm telling you I'm upset. I don't care. I don't care. Then why are you here?
Okay, let's.
Why are you here then? You
Okay.
don't want people upset. If you don't care, why are you here?
Okay, can we not have cross talk? Superintendent is working on it, thank you.
Let's just cancel. Man, let's just cancel.
Ma'am, in front of me. We're trying to do the best, we just, I don't want anyone to scream anything. I just don't want anyone, because I'm not trying to be rude.
But thank you.
I don't have to be rude. I'm just trying to.
Just cancel.
We just need to.
Just cancel.
So, in consultation with our district superintendent and our FACE representative, right now we're going to suspend the public speaking session, and I'm going to make a motion to change the order right now of the agenda to have the report of the community district superintendent, and we'll see if we can resume the public speaking session at a later point in time during this meeting. I would just, point of order, make a motion at this point to suspend the public speaking session. Anyone second that motion?
Yes. Second.
So I call for a vote?
So. Okay, so the motion, just for my clarification, is to suspend the public session. The first public session.
First public session.
We have to have discussion on a
Oh, do you want to
motion
have,
before
okay,
you
you're
vote on
right, right. Well, that's absolutely right. So let's have discussion on this motion. Would anyone like to be heard?
it. Yes. While I understand the practical purpose of this motion, it gives into the heckler's veto, into bullying, to say that only the voices that support the rescind motion will be heard. The voices that supported the rescind motion here were able to speak, and the majority of people in this room are activating a heckler's veto by making it impossible to hear speakers who want to share a different point of view. I am not going to support this motion because it essentially tells people that if you come to a CEC2 meeting and shout and make noise and speak over people you don't agree with, that you'll be able to silence them. It's undemocratic and it's not how we should conduct our meetings.
Can I ask the security personnel, excuse me, can I ask the officer who's here, do we have security personnel? I see you standing there. Can you just have these people taken, put back, please? Because there are people who are literally leaning against the stage.
They're not bothering anyone, Len.
They're bothering me, all right?
They're bothering Len.
And they're bothering, and they're disrupting the meeting, and you can't see it from down there. I just asked that people just.
Hey, I don't think Len has the authority to remove people, to give orders.
We're not removing. We're not removing, we're asking people to move back.
away from the stage. Yeah, they can sit, yeah, they can sit.
No one's asking anyone to leave the room. Right? Would anyone else like to be heard on this particular motion? All right, then I would call for a vote.
Okay.
Yes.
Reba Barai.
Yes.
Reba Barai, yes. Allison Bowen.
No.
Allison Bowen, no. Daniela Egorov.
No.
Daniela Egorov, no. Gavin Healy.
Yes.
Gavin.
It's to suspend the public session.
The first public session, yes.
It's to
Gavin.
suspend, no, wait. It's to suspend the public session.
No, until later, right?
Okay, so.
I vote to suspend, yes. If one side cannot speak,
Okay.
another side should speak, yes.
Daniela Egorov is a yes.
Yes.
Gavin Healy.
Wait, so just to clarify, we're voting to go to the superintendent's presentation first, and then after that, go back to public speaking?
As long as we can ensure the safety and security of everyone in this room.
Well, I think people are safe.
No,
Well,
it's
that-
not.
because you're not speaking, so.
Well, I vote yes. Let's hear from Kelly and then go back to public speaking.
Charles Love. Charles Love, no. Maud Maron.
No.
Maud Maron, no. Sonal Patel.
I'm still confused what we're voting on. Suspend the So Kelly goes first, and then we pick up exactly what we want.
We'll try it again.
So what's the other option? You just keep going?
No, we cancel the public
That's
session.
what I'm saying. If the motion doesn't pass,
Yes.
then you're gonna make a motion to cancel the entire
No,
meeting.
I'm not making a motion to cancel.
Public speaking.
Yeah, exactly. Cancel public session.
Okay, Sonal Patel. Sorry.
I'm voting to let Kelly go first. I don't know.
That's a yes. I believe that's a yes. Jessica Savage.
Yes.
Jessica Savage, yes. Sarah Shaka Ehrenberg.
Yes.
Sarah Shaka Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenese.
No.
Sabina.
No.
Can I please have the security officer, please keep people away from it?
Thank you.
Okay, so Sabina,
Sorry.
sorry,
Roach killing is allowed, we do not see that.
it's hard, we can't see it, we
We
can't
do
see
have a
it.
history of plugging into the system, so.
Thank you. Leonard Silverman.
Yes.
Leonard Silverman is a yes, Craig Sutzkin is a yes, motion passes 8-4.
So the effective. I'll also make a motion to thank her for killing the roach. Appreciate that. I think we all agree on that. So what we're going to do now is we're not canceling the public speaking session at this point, but now we're going to continue on the agenda and we're going to do the report of the community district superintendent, Kelly LeBlanc.
You have to follow that.
Want the water?
Kelly. No, Kelly. I expect song and dance.
This is the best part
Okay, good.
We don't want to hear
Well, just a little break. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to hear you.
We're gonna need a big gavel. You guys like chip in for?
Okay, thanks so much for having me tonight, CEC2. I appreciate you. I appreciate the opportunity to take a moment in the meeting to do a report on our work here in District 2. So we have just want to celebrate, we have a few principals who are retiring this year. Collectively, this group of principals has over 100 years of service as a New York City principal. We are very thankful that we have a strong pipeline of leadership in our district to be able to ensure that there is a continuity of the work that are going on in these schools. PS1, Amy Palm, PS4, Susan Felder, Kay Carr at Middle School, Maggie Sienna at PS343, May Lee at PS42, and James Xu at PS116. We're very thankful that we have, again, folks who are stepping into these positions, Christine Wong at PS1, Jackie Leitner at PS40, Casey Corey at Peck Slip, and Maggie Moon, who's currently an assistant principal at PS59, will be stepping in at PS116. We're also thankful again for some of the work that has been happening in our district. We have several principals who are named National Con Fellows, the distinguished program for principals across the country. They recently had the opportunity to travel to Los Angeles to participate in a scholarship program where they had a chance to listen to different leaders from education and various businesses across the spectrum. And to hone their leadership skills. We're also thankful for the leadership of the Middle School Leadership Council, a group of middle school students from all schools in our district who came together to work on a community service project. We're very happy with the work that they've done. They presented to Comptroller Lander as well as Councilmember Men as a part of the work that they were doing in the Middle School Leadership Conference. And we're also thankful for our students, of course, especially those students who have really been developing their skills. We have many people have been hearing a lot about our literacy program in elementary school, but we're also doing work in mathematics with the new program, Reading Fifth Squared. This summer, we are hosting Summer Rising again here in District 2. We are going to be seeing close to 3,000 students in our Summer Rising program. We're very excited for that program here. We've got a returning group of school leaders who will help make sure that Monday through Friday there are strong academic, social, and emotional activities, as well as opportunities that are in arts and sports for students across the district. The elementary school program runs 1 week longer than our middle school program. Elementary school program is July 2nd to August 16th, and the middle school program July 2nd to August 9th. This is an 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. program with breakfast and lunch included, and we are, again, going to be serving around 3,000 kids. We are doing a short update on our goals. We are still waiting for all of our academic speakers to come in so that we can evaluate the progress that our students have been making in mathematics and reading. We are very happy to report that we have witnessed a reduction of suspension by 14% across the district. And after some earlier concerns around a rise in students who had reported incidents of self-harm and suicidal ideation, that percentage has also dropped by 4% this year. Again, we are beginning to see a steadying of our attendance. We know that different students and different families face different challenges as they're coming into school. Prior to the pandemic, our attendance rate in the district was around 94%. We have stabilized over the past couple of years at 92%. did have a quick update on middle school enrollment. To date, we have about 2,600 kids who have accepted seats across our middle schools for the fall of 2024. 2,100 of them are going to be enrolled in general programs. This includes both students with both programs, actually, both our general programs and our screen programs, include students with disabilities, multi-language learners. We're going to see about 2,100 students in our non-screen programs, about 450 students in our screen programs. And just to give a little bit of context as to where 2,610 students fits in the context of historical data for incoming sixth graders. In 2018-19, we had about 2,800 kids coming in to sixth grade. That number certainly dipped during the pandemic years, but for the last couple of years, we've seen a slow rise. And if these numbers hold at 2,600, we will be getting very close again to the number of students entering sixth grade prior to the pandemic. I did just throw in a slide about lice. This wasn't just for the council and their, but just to let people know, lice does not happen. It's not a direct reflection of hygiene. But I wanted to just update folks on what the New York City lice policy is. There is a lice policy that says that we do not have students who are in our schools that have lice. When a student is identified as having lice, then their families are informed, and the students are sent home, and they can return when they are lice-free. I know that the resolution that the council has proposed today would involve a greater degree of screening for lice across the district. Again, that's not something that is standard, although we do train people in every school to be able to evaluate students for lice. Also evaluate when students are ready to return school lice-free. And just a couple of key dates to add. September 5th is the first day of school. We have fall conferences again in September when we return. A few dates in which Grade School is closed at the start of the year for Rosh Hashanah, Indigenous Peoples Day, and Diwali. Will be closed on November 1st for Diwali. And with that, I thank you very much for your time, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Do any council members have questions for Superintendent McGuire? Allison? Could you?
Do we have to share?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
This doesn't work, unfortunately. Everything's going back to you.
Thanks for providing some additional middle school admission numbers. Do you have a sense from the Office of Admissions what the cutoff was in terms of the academic grade for these screen programs this year? And then the second question, which is a follow-on to that, is others who met that base requirement admitted to a screen program. And then the third question, because I know you're just going to get the mic one if you remember all this, is can you tell us what the screen program enrollment is by the 4 middle schools that have the screen program?
So the academic, I can say that the academic cutoff has varied a little bit from the 4 screen schools, the 4 schools in which we have screen programs, anywhere from about 3.4 to 3.6 was at the bottom level of the scale. And that went all the way up again to 4.0. Admission to screening programs was, there were really 2 factors that figured in: student average course grades and parent interest. And so the level of parent interest and students who met that criteria, we were able to accommodate all students who met that criteria and whose parents expressed interest. There were certainly more kids and more families who had expressed interest, but we did work to maintain a grade point average that was above grade level, strongly above grade level. I can't say specifically about which numbers at which schools. I can say that at MS 131 and MS 297 we'll have 1 class that is accelerated. 1 out of 3 in each of those 2 schools. At at MS 104, Baruch Middle School, and MS 167, Wagner Middle School, the number of screen classes will be 6 or 7 per school.
6 or 7
Classes, and those classes will be somewhere between 28 and 33 kids.
Okay, and do you know out of how many incoming classes that is?
I don't know the math right offhand. I guess that it's about half of them, half of the classes that are coming in. Did I get off your question? Yeah.
You did? Thank you.
Mine should be pretty easy. Hopefully. So, first of all, I think I can say on behalf of the council, congratulations and thank you to all the retiring principals. We do appreciate their years of service and dedication. Being a principal is not easy, and I applaud them, and I think the members of this council do as well. The new principals or the new people that you put on the list, I have 2 questions. The first one is, are those all interim actings, and do you have to go through the C30 over the summer or in the fall, or are they the permanent principals that have gone through the C30? I'll ask you my second question first. And then the second question is, on Summer Rising, could you compare that to the number of students or spots that we had last year? Like, did it go up, did it go down, and why?
The number of seats for Summer Rising is almost exactly the same.
Okay.
In regard to the new principals who are coming in, all of them are coming in as interim acting because the principals who are currently seated in those schools, there's a different amount of time in which each of them is going to continue staying in the role. It's kind of more of like a mechanical thing. We have to make sure that when we bring a new, when a new principal comes in, they must initially come in as interim acting so long as the other principal is still on for the school.
Okay, so one follow-up?
Yep, and they are all current assistant principals in our district, whether they're at from the school itself or from a different school.
I don't need, on the Summer Rising, do you know what the demand was? I think you said it was about 3,000 or 2,700. What was the demand? In other words, was it 3,000, but there was a demand for 20,000? I'm exaggerating the numbers, but what is the ratio of acceptances?
Yeah, we definitely were not able to accept all of the students who wanted to participate. I went through that slide very carefully, and I don't even know if you all could see it, but in some of those programs, there are going to be over 400 kids who are participating over the summer. We were not able to meet all of the demands, but we did feel good about being able to fill up the programs that we have. We feel good about the existing partnerships that we have in the schools, and we're very thankful that many of the school leaders that have led Summer Rising in the past are returning to lead those programs.
Thank you.
Ellen, you have a question?
Yes, good question. Are there any schools in our district who are not currently doing professionalized check? Do you have this information? Because, well, it was mentioned that, yes, let's check. Because it has to be funded by the PTA, right? Are there any schools in our district who don't have the PTA capacity to support that?
Yes, most of them are not doing that. And, but the policy and practice towards this has changed a little bit than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, every child who was in the school lined up and they checked us all.
Yeah.
It is now more of a response when there is concern or suspicion that lice may exist, then the school may choose to enact a check that is broad or narrow or focused. But yes, most schools are not doing that kind of comprehensive check.
Any other questions for Superintendent McGuire?
So I'm happy to hear about the Diwali being finally introduced, so thank you.
Yes.
Oh, one other question on the calendar, sorry. Is there any talk of changing next year's winter, the December break? Because it's like Monday we're in, I think, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you know, a lot of families will not be there that Monday, but all teachers will have to be there that Monday, or they get docked, or they get that docked vacation day, which is sort of not really fair to them. Is there any talk about trying to change that? Because it just seems very awkward.
Yeah, I have heard this in the news, like a lot of people, from a seventh grader who's rallying to close schools, but I haven't been part of any of those conversations.
Get on.
Anyone else?
I know, I can take it.
Sorry for that.
Thank you, Superintendent.
So I told you to do a song and dance, and you did a song and dance for us. That's what you get for, in a superintendent.
And I also just want to compliment Superintendent Barr, that might be the shortest report we've ever had. So, but thank you, it doesn't mean it's not important. So the next item on our agenda is the report of the President. Let me just say this, so this marks, our June meeting marks 1 year as a CEC. And during that period of time, we passed a number of resolutions.
Didn't we motion to go back to the public speaking session after Superintendent McGuire?
Gavin, I have the chair and I'm speaking right now. Could you
Yeah, but
please-
we had a motion that passed.
Yeah, you're not recognizing me, Gavin, right now. Please.
Yeah, you never recognize me, but that's okay. But anyway, we had a motion that passed.
Okay, as I was saying, so this marks the 1 year anniversary of our CEC this term, and I will say that this term we have passed a number of resolutions. One of the resolutions that we passed, we dealt with mayoral control. We've passed a resolution supporting mayoral control. We've also passed a resolution dealing with asking them to re-examine the guidelines for class size. So we've asked that as well. We've also passed resolutions dealing with school safety, and we've also passed resolution 248, which really has gotten the most attention. I am pleased to report that to the parents of District 2, that we have made some gains to restore some of the things that we had, including District 2 priority. We have not gotten District 2 priority back, but as many of you may recall, when we had the Chancellor here during our last meeting, which was also the Chancellor's Town Hall, the Chancellor did say he will be coming forward with some announcements concerning that particular issue. Whether or not it's Manhattan priority or something else, I just want the parents of this district to know we will continue to fight on your behalf to restore District 2 priority, which I know is something that is very important to many of the families in this district. The other victory, and I'll call it a victory, was Superintendent McGuire announcing at the beginning of the term that we will have screen programs in certain schools. This includes Wagner, what were the other schools? 75 Morton. So while this is not the same level of screening that we had before, it is a good start. And Superintendent McGuire, as a council, I can assure you that as a council and the parents of this district will continue to hold your feet to the fire to see if we can get more screen programs in District 2. And we also want to see more accelerated programs as well, and especially accelerated math programs. We do thank you for listening to the parents. And yes, we did have to twist your arm a little, and we'll continue to twist your arm again, but we're going to hold you to the restoration of more programs. I did just want to speak briefly to Resolution 248, which was passed, and I know that many members here of the public have spoken. Hopefully you'll get an opportunity to speak again tonight. That's what we're hoping. But what I will say is this, I'm rather disturbed by the resolution that has been put forward by PEP. This is a resolution that is equating resolution number 248 to hate speech. And it is also a resolution that is asking for the removal of members who voted for resolution 248. And I think that parents should really be concerned about that kind of a resolution passing. The interesting thing is, number one, that PEP has decided out of all the CEC resolutions that have been passed this term, this is the one that they tended to focus on. And the other thing that's interesting is the chilling effect that this resolution has. Because you may disagree with us, and I have listened to you, and I am making myself available again, as I have always said I will and have, to speak to any member out there in the audience that wants to talk to me about Resolution 248 or the resolution that pertains to 248 tonight. I'm happy to listen and hear what you have to say, and I made myself available, and I appreciate people who have taken the opportunity to speak with me. But parents should be very concerned about the chilling effect when we're passing resolutions punishing people for voting on certain issues. You may not agree with it, but I think it's really important that we have the right to say what we have to say and to have discussion about it. And the discussion should be open The discussion should be honest, it should be transparent, and it may not be what everyone wants to hear. You may disagree with it, but again, it's important to have that discussion and to allow people to speak. And I think what happened earlier tonight was a little disappointing, coming from a community that I know happens to be welcoming, inclusive, and I would hope that we can move forward on this. I will hope that we can move forward on this and really get through this meeting tonight and deal with these resolutions. So I think, and I would ask on the PEP resolution, I would just ask, where is the mayor? Where is our chancellor? And where's the ACLU? And where's all the other organizations that stand for the right, that stand for the right of parents to speak up and be heard on different issues? We expect the same rights to be heard. That's all I say. So thank you. The next item on the agenda is, now, let me ask you guys, do you think it's possible we can continue the public speaking session? Because I will tell you that security has informed us that they will remove people who are being disruptive. So I want people to have the opportunity to speak. So please, let's try. I'm going to make a motion to continue the public speaking session. We can have discussion on that motion. Will you second that motion?
I thought we had a motion to resume it after the report, so I think we're
So we have a motion to resume it already. We don't take questions from the audience. So let's try to resume the public speaking session. I'm going to ask Craig to call the next speaker that's listed.
Thank you. The next speaker is Amaya Perez. And how long are we going to?
1 minute and 15 seconds.
Thank you for your patience.
And please, can I just also ask that you just don't say anything else?
I will not say that.
Thank you. You can knock it over. It's fine.
Good evening, council members. My name is Amaya, and I'm here today representing the Gays Against Groomers New York chapter. I stand before you to urge you to vote no on Resolution 254, which seeks to rescind Resolution 248. As many of you know, Resolution 248 passed in March called for a committee to review the gender guidelines with the inclusion of female athletes. This was a step toward ensuring that our policies reflect a balance of fairness, safety, and inclusivity for all students. Rescinding Resolution 248 would be a great mistake. The resolution was enacted with the intent to involve diverse perspectives, especially those of female athletes who are directly impacted by these guidelines. By dismissing this resolution, we undermine a crucial opportunity for inclusive dialogue and thoughtful consideration. It is essential that we approach these sensitive issues with the input of experts, the community, and most importantly, the girls whose lives and experiences are at the heart of this matter. One of the most significant concerns is that the push to rescind Resolution 248 seems to have been done without adequate consultation with those who most feel affected. Girls have a right to single-sex spaces. These spaces are not just about physical safety, but also about ensuring that girls feel secure and comfortable. The fight for a women's rights have long included the battle for the right to single-sex spaces, and we must honor that history.
Thank you, Amaya. Thank you, Amaya. We need to
wrap it up.
You went over a minute and 15.
You're way over. Sorry, but thank you. And thank you for your patience also. I want to be fair to everybody.
Okay, the next speaker is Juan Pagan.
We have one from
Yes. Thank you, Mr. McCarthy.
1 minute 15.
Yes, 15.
My name is Juan Pagan, born and raised in Lower East Side, Dublin Hospital. I have 2 adult children who were born and raised here in Lower East Side. We attended all the public schools in this district. I now have a granddaughter who was born and raised and here attending a school within our district. I'm a former CEC member, former representative in Manhattan, citywide council of high schools, former counselor with the New York State Division of Youth, a former director of the Children's After School Program with the City of New York. Enough about me, you're going to know why I am here.
okay? First of all, to review the gender guidelines of 2019 and to have girls who attend public schools in this district to have their voices heard is not a hateful request nor a transphobic one, but one aligned with our First Amendment rights to have civilized, rational discussion. Let me give you some medical scientific facts, biology facts that cannot be denied. Males have 40% more upper body strength. Males have 30% more leg strength. And males have higher and greater bone density than females. We are stronger than women. We are stronger than the females.
Mr. Pagan, Mr. Pagan.
It is inevitable that all players in any sport
Mr. Pagan, Mr. Pagan, Mr. Pagan.
Why?
Mr. Pagan.
Because we
Mr.
are
Pagan. Mr. Pagan, Mr. Pagan. Mr. Pagan. Mr. Pagan. Sir. Mr. Pagan, sorry, time's up. You're way over.
They're gonna kick us out.
Sorry, we have to let other people speak.
I'm not speaking English, speaking loud.
No, you're over time, you're over the time.
Without a tie,
Sir,
you're over
you're over
your
the time,
time.
you're over the time.
You're over your time.
Sir,
You're over your
sir.
time. You can send us an email.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I'm speaking loudly because I want you to
Thank you. We're just trying to keep everybody to the time. Sorry, we want to get everybody to speak. The next person is Victoria Hall. Victoria Hall, is she still here? Go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Victoria. I am a New York State board certified nurse practitioner in family medicine and a registered nurse. And I am a mom of 2 teenagers. I love my kids as much as anybody loves their kids. So what I came here to say has escaped my mind because I am just simply struck as a clinician by the level of oppositional defiance that I'm seeing in this room tonight. Oppositional defiance, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic borderline personality disorder specifically, that it's hard to even keep track of what's going on. It's embarrassing, frankly. I came to this country from England in 1999. I thought that I was moving to a progressive town, and maybe then it was, but I don't think that it is anymore. I think that bringing boys into girls' sports is very regressive, and this mental issue masquerading as a civil rights movement has gone around. There's a lot more that I have to say.
Thank you for respecting the time.
Thank you. Thank you. The next speaker is Lexi B. I don't know if is Lexi B still here? Okay. Or maybe Lexi S. This is Lexi B and Lexi. Okay. Elizabeth Dolly. Okay. I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong. Sorry.
That's fine, okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Fiha. I'm speaking on behalf of More Women NYC. I'm a New York Public School graduate, an alumnus Stuyvesant, who went on to get a doctorate in math. After witnessing the extreme systemic contempt for women and girls that persists in academia, I left a career in pediatric oncology research to defend women's sex-based rights. The conflict this resolution addresses is a symptom of that academic contempt. We're absolutely right to pass Resolution 248. We are feeling the impact of a fake civil rights movement engineered to destroy women's rights and demonize them. This is misogyny. That's all I really have to say. If this happened to any of us, we would be recognized.
33 seconds.
We have more time. We have more time.
We have more time.
You know, I would just ask members of the audience if one of the students was speaking or if you were speaking, would you do this? So please, just, I know you don't like what's being said, but please, just let the speaker speak. It's the right thing to do, please.
Okay, someone named Christopher. I just have a Christopher. Okay. Kyle D.
Thank you. My name is Kyle. I'm just a dad. I would urge everyone here to look hard at the basketball hoop opening. The height matters if you're playing basketball. Now, we might wish that ethical questions were all simple. Evidently, they are not. There's a very real set of questions here to which the answers are not always clear. And this takes place within a particular historical context. You can look around, you can see the banners, business school, girls soccer, boys soccer, B, and so forth. There are challenges here which we can't simply wish away. As a community, I believe we need to talk about them. For the record, as I understand it, there has been a good deal of thoughtful medical and ethical debate on this topic. A lot of it has lingered on the question of fairness, for which there are very real challenges on all sides. I think the US is a little bit behind the curve on this, but I think we can say with some confidence that this is far from a slam dunk.
You could wrap it up.
Now, it's not clear to me that shutting down a conversation on what is really in the interests of our children is a good look. I worry that it's left to end up antagonizing
Thank
those
you, thank you.
most
Need to
likely
wrap up.
to persuade.
Need to wrap up. Thank you.
Kyle D. That was you. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Megan Mediso.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Dr. Megan Pamela Bruce Madison. And I am a Black, queer, critical race theorist who co-authored a bunch of books to help activist teachers support young children's social, emotional development. And critical thinking skills. Don't worry, so far at least, Maud doesn't bully me online, although it does look like she's recording. But when I did attend my first meeting in February, Daniela made it very clear that she wants to ban Our Skin, our first book about race and racism, from schools and libraries here in New York City. I also chair the board of Transformative Schools.
You could wrap it up.
A visionary after-school program
Dr. Madison, you could start wrapping it up.
directed by the highly skilled and absolutely full-time executives.
You need to wrap it up.
Thank you.
Rescind 248.
Thank you. Rovania.
It takes a village to raise a child is an African proverb that reminds all of us that we grow and learn from our intertwined experience and that hopefully our lives are enriched by one another. It takes a village. I'm Rovania, I'm a non-binary Afro-Caribbean Dominican, I'm a lifelong educator and I love my village. My village is a beautiful constellation of folks of different races, genders, sexual orientation, ages, ability, folks who speak different languages and have different interests. Folks in my village are the same, but different. And we love that. We are the unique and novel experiences of the
conclude your remarks, please.
And to our candidates, Jessica, Sono, Sarah, and Danny,
It's too
thank you
low,
for
they can't hear me.
the lives of our beloved champions. We keep us safe.
Thank you. The next speaker, and I apologize, I can't really make his name, Sahi Han? Sadie? I apologize, I couldn't make it out.
Could you pronounce the name so at least we
Yeah,
know what it?
Suji, okay,
Suji,
thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Suji. I am a non-binary person and concerned citizen, and so that some of you want to take me seriously, I'm also a disabled Army veteran. I grew up in New York City. I went to public schools, and you guys, I know firsthand that there are real problems out there that need to be addressed, and this is not a real problem. This is a problem you're making up in your head. You are sitting up here on this stage because you ran for a campaign. People voted for you so that you can represent the students, so you can protect the students. Do you really think that what you're doing is doing that? Yes. Because it's not. It is not. You know what you're doing? You're actually making sure that people know, and your own kids know, that you can't be trusted. And that you cannot be relied on. Your own community is here, showing up and telling you to protect trans kids. Kids are coming up here crying, telling you to protect trans kids. And what are you doing? You're centering your own selves. You're putting your own
You can wrap up your remarks, please.
Kids don't care about gender. All they want to do is play. So let them fucking play.
Thank you.
Act like adults.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. I appreciate everybody applauding. I really do, but we don't have a lot of time left, and we still have a bunch of speakers. I want to let everybody have their say. Kara Dansky? Yeah, we've been. Yeah, it's you got a minute 15, but.
So who's after Kat? All people in a row. No, like who's after Kat? Would you like who's on deck?
Good evening.
Okay.
Get ready.
My name is Kara Dansky, and I'm pleased to be here as a member of the general public. I'm the president of the U.S. chapter of Women's Declaration International, which works to advance the Declaration on Women's sex-based rights, which calls for the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women and girls that result from the replacement of the category of sex with that of gender identity, including single-sex sports and including the rights of lesbians. For what it's worth, WDI USA is a nonpartisan organization speaking solely for myself. I'm a lifelong registered Democrat. My organization's position on this underlying issue is clear, but I'm not here tonight to talk about the underlying issue. I'm not here to persuade anyone in the room that we're right. I'm here to talk about democracy. Forget the underlying issue for a moment. Imagine the following. In 2019, a government entity issues a policy on a particular topic. 5 years later, in 2024, a community council whose members are impacted by the policy democratically adopts a resolution calling for the reevaluation of the policy. And then another member introduces a motion to rescind the democratically enacted resolution. Viewed with respect to any other topic, such a move would rightly be considered utterly authoritarian and dangerous. Democracy simply cannot survive if government policies are not subject to
If you could wrap up your remarks, please. Please wrap up your remarks.
Everyone who supports the 2019 policy should want Resolution 248 to go forward.
Thank you.
I call on this council to vote no on Resolution 254.
Thank you. Okay. So the next speaker, I'm going to call the next two, so you're ready. Linda Quarles, and then Michael Rosano. And then after that is Grace McKenzie. Speak
Nothing that, a resolution for anything, calling for the convening of a committee which has no power to propose amendments which will probably go nowhere, which is about the lamest thing the CEC could ever request. What do you have so much opposition? And what if this is a resolution about a committee to review, I don't know, school lunches or busing or even something more controversial like zoning? Would the sponsors be called hateful just for asking for a committee, including the affected groups? Like I personally know of many girls who wanted to come out tonight to speak to defend themselves, but they were bullied and intimidated by adults to stay silent. They are begging for help and support and protection and fairness, and they are voiceless. I would really encourage anyone listening, including those of you online, why are people so angry that someone asked for a conversation? Why are people afraid of an inclusive, evidence-based process, and why are they determined to silence medical experts, coaches, and girls? Actually, the biggest outright I heard is when a speaker came and said, "Let me tell you some facts," and everyone just like freaked out. I'm like, that is facts.
You can wrap up.
Like that's like such a controversy.
It's my turn. It's nice to meet you, by the way.
Thank you very much. So I actually don't wish to weigh in on the merits of the resolution 248 itself. I actually just want to say thank you to the members of this council for trying to engage in dialogue on a difficult but important topic. Thank you for having the courage to stand up for what you believe in, for what you believe is right, even in the face of the onslaught of opposition that has come your way. That is democracy. There's certainly a lot of talk about democracy in the news these days. What you're doing here is at the very core of our democracy. As Americans, we need to be able to disagree with each other in a civil and respectful way. There's also a lot of talk about protecting vulnerable populations. In my view, that's exactly what you're trying to do here. And I thank you for trying to protect the children of this city in the way that you see fit. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. So the next speaker is Grace McKenzie. And then the speaker after that will be Alana Daniels. Elena, sorry, I apologize.
Thanks, Hey everybody, I spoke to you 2 meetings ago. My name is Grace McKenzie. I'm a transfer in space high-level competitive rugby here at the University of New York Rugby Club. I wanted to share a little story that came from some connections I made here at the first meeting from some allies of trans kids. So I got connected to a teacher who works with a very small school that has some trans children in it, and they put me in touch with an 8th grader named Kai, who wanted to do an article for their school paper on trans kids in sports. Because they didn't have a lot of people to talk to, they got connected with me as a trans athlete through their teacher. The conversation was really wonderful. I did everything I could to not scare this child based on the state of the world for trans people right now. Over 600 bills have been filed across the country in 42 states targeting the rights and the freedoms of trans people, especially trans youth. But over the conversation, we were off the record, Kai looked at me and asked, "This isn't a question for my paper, but do you think I'll be safe as I grow up?" And I looked at this kid and I cracked, I broke down and I said, "Honestly, Kai, I can't promise you that, but all I can say is that our community finds a way, and we're going to find a way for you as well, right?" I think we've heard from everybody, you know where people stand on this issue. I'm really hoping you take it a look at yourselves to actually consider this motion, understand its implication, and I'm also inviting you to come out to a rugby match, our Pride match this Saturday on Randall Island. You'll see parents, non-violent, and children all compete against each other. Any of you who want to come,
Thank you.
I will personally buy your ticket. So I'll
Thank
stick
you.
around, and I'll see you afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the next speaker, please, we don't have a lot of time left. The next speaker is Elena Daniels, I apologize. And the next speaker after that is Joe Machero. Sorry, it's one mic, we share.
Hi everybody, my name is Elena Daniels, and I'm a white, queer, neurodivergent, non-binary teacher. I've been a teacher at New York City's middle and high schools for 12 years, And these days, I'm the co-founder of Transformative Schools. Prior to this meeting, the resolution 248 was passed. I listened to 3 hours of cisgender people calling for expert testimony and discussion. Yet when I got up to speak, explain why I was an expert, and then dare to speak for longer than the brief 2 minutes allotted to me, that this so-called welcoming and inclusive community gavelled me down, called me names, and had my microphone shut off.
Then y'all all walked out of the room.
Raise your hand if you were present at that meeting in March with Megan, Kate, Rowe, and me. Thank you all for being there. Raise your hand if you joined one of the CECD2 meetings since 248. Thank you all for showing up for trans kids. Raise your hand if you were here tonight to tell the council to rescind 248. Please give yourself a round of applause. Tonight's vote will call which of these council members are champions for our youth, and which are bullies who just want to stir up false controversy and threaten those who challenge them at the top.
You can wrap it up, please.
Every single person who votes no on 254 tonight in the next election.
You could wrap it up, please.
Trans youth deserve to feel safe.
Joe, please, we don't have a lot, I keep saying, we don't have a lot of time, I appreciate your feedback. After Joe will be Alex Kogan and then Aaron Markman.
My name is Jill Monterell. I am transgender non-binary District 75 public school teacher. I'm holding a sign that says gender affirming schools save lives, and this is not an exaggeration. The Trevor Project found last year, 2023, that 86% of trans and non-binary and gender non-conforming youth consider suicide, and approximately 50% attempted. Having a gender-affirming supportive school environment doesn't only statistically lower that by a little bit, it lowers it by 40%. Yeah. If you are actively trying to make our schools unsafe or unwelcoming for our transgender students, you have blood on your hands. And our children dying. So you can have your little discourse? I'm sorry, that's not democracy. It's not. It's not about opinions. If there was a resolution passed to ban any other marginalized group from sports, to ban a certain race or someone with disabilities,
You can wrap it up.
will you be responding like that?
Please, I keep saying please. The next speakers will be Alex Kogan, Aaron Markman, and Dia Small.
Get off your phones.
Okay, Alex Kogan. Okay, Aaron Markman. Okay, and then after that is Andia Small, and then Karen Wiener.
Thank you. I had a couple of things I wanted to say, and then a lot happened, so I just wanted to use a little bit of my time to speak to the notion that you were disappointed in us and advancing the rhetoric that all voices should be heard when some of those voices were hate speech. And I couldn't help but notice that as those children were being led out of the room in tears, you did not voice your disappointment with the people who made them sick. Go without saying how absurd and heartbreaking the notion is that those children somehow pose the threat. These treasured trans children who are trying just to chart their path in an all too hostile world, they are somehow the threats. I think if you all cracked your hearts open just a tiny bit and let a shred of love and humanity in there, it would be very easy to let go of that idea.
you could conclude your remarks, please.
Just very briefly, I'm a parent of a non-binary kindergartner in a district in Brooklyn. And when we told them what was happening here, my child turned to me and said, "Mama, are those people going to come here and hurt me?" And my partner and I said we would do everything we could to stop that, so I am here.
Okay, we're way over at this point. I'm sorry, we're way over. Andrea's still here? She might have left. Andrea? Okay. Karen Weiner? She might have left also. Kim Jones? Okay, and after Kim is Emma Johnson, and then Rosa McNally.
First of all, I'm here in support of 248. When you are on the right side of an issue, you are open to seeking the best possible solutions. You do not fear information, discourse, investigations, and learning. You invite it. My name is Kim Jones. I'm a former professional tennis player and All-American from Stanford. I'm also the co-founder of Icons, and I am here tonight to represent the voice of the vast majority of girls in sports, because the burden being placed on young women right now is too large and frightening when adults in the room bully them and scream names. Girls in sports are facing an erosion of their rights, and this has become all too clear in recent years. I now spend my days working with the young girls facing those boys in sports on a daily basis. But women and girls are being silenced, told to ignore their instinctive fear and discomfort. They are being emotionally blackmailed and told that the feelings and well-beings of boys are more important than their own. That the life and happiness of a boy depends upon their concession. This emotional blackmail is no different from the age-old threat that women have always faced in abusive situations. If you leave, I will kill myself. And we tell our girls that they are no longer as total affirmation or as shield of protection for them. Their desire to live and their hard
Thank you,
work
Kim.
to be set aside.
Kim, thank you.
Psychologically dangerous them.
Kim, thank you.
Abuse of women.
Okay. Thank you. Emma Johnson here? After Emma is Rosa. Got it.
Hello, my name is Emma Johnson. I'm here from the office of Assembly Member Tony Simone. I'm here to read a joint statement from Tony, Senator Bronte, and Pico, and President Bartolini. Community education councils play a vital role in policymaking and local engagement, and should spend their time, energy, and resources ensuring that our school system meets the needs of every single student. On March 20th, the CEC failed students in District 2 by passing Resolution 248. Those folks here today undoubtedly think that this resolution was simply asking for a conversation. In reality, that conversation was based in transphobic language that called for the reconsideration of guidelines designed to ensure that no student, regardless of their gender identity or expression, would be discriminated against. Trans rights are human rights, and that is not up for discussion. The rights of trans New Yorkers are not up for debate. We would like to stress that the members of this council were elected or appointed to represent the students and parents of District 2. The overwhelming response from the community, including students, parents, elected officials, and Chancellor Banks, to Resolution 248 is proof that this council failed in its responsibility by passing the resolution. The CEC has an opportunity now to repair the relationship to the community that has been
You could wrap up your remarks, please.
by passing the resolution to
You could wrap up your remarks, please.
Resolution 254 has our complete support and is a necessary step to allow CEC to return to the hard work of protecting, supporting,
Thank you.
and encouraging every single student, every single school, every
Thank you.
single family. in
Thank you. We need to move on. Thank you. Next speaker is Rosa McNally. Rosa here. Rosa McNally. Okay. The next person is Amy Nago-Balim. And then Tamara Reed is next. I don't know if she's still here. Let's see.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I'm the parent of a trans femme 8th grader. And first of all, trans girls are girls. Say that trans girls are boys, the continual drumbeat that we're letting boys play girls' sports, that to me feels so hateful. To have my child erased like that over and over again is just, I sat there shaking, and I don't know how I am supposed to be calm and respectful when there are people coming for my child. I know that this is an ideological battle, and we can't act like we're all entering it on the same playing field. Yes, cisgender girls face enormous struggles, and so do trans girls, and so do all trans children. Sorry, I'm really shaking. Thanks. I would hope that people would look at the Washington Post article from March 12th. It was an investigation of FBI statistics about what happens in public schools in states that have passed anti-trans legislation and restrictions.
Thank you.
The increase in violence and harassment in public schools goes up 400%.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would hope for those of you who are still deciding about this, that you would take those facts, which are not opinions, into consideration.
Thank you. Haley Churda? Haley, is that you? Sorry. And then the next speaker will be Ray Rock. Ray Rock, you're next.
Hi, my name is Helen Churdock. I'm a parent of 2 transgender kids. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've taken care of many patients, kids, and adults who are transgender. I did not plan on speaking. I don't really know, and I actually hate public speaking. But I really want to speak to those of you on this council that think that this is just about sports. And I want to reiterate the fact that this is about you lining up your battle against trans people and trans kids. And we see right through that. And I hope that other members of this council see who's behind the original resolution of 248 and don't get caught up in people claiming that this is about democracy or you're not following a democratic process. This is about lining up for our battle. And so we hope you see that.
Sorry, now, I skipped you. I didn't know you were here. You want to speak? Oh, sorry, I thought you were Tamara, sorry. Tamira, sorry, Tamira. Sorry. I skipped you, I didn't see you were still here. We called you. You know I love you, Tamara. You know.
All right, I'm gonna try to keep this in a timeline. Can you hear? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I can kind of wrap my mind around the fact that such a disgusting and unlawful and inhumane resolution such as 248 can pass on a council that is supposed to represent students fairly in their dignity. What are you thinking? Maybe you bought into the manufactured fear that trans kids' very existence, which a couple of you refuse to even recognize, by the way, we're here tonight. Trans kids are real. Trying to alive under a threat to little sister over everywhere. Well, let's be clear. 248 has nothing to do with sports and everything to do with demonizing and dehumanizing trans students. And this is what happens when you listen to narcissistic transphobes who are capitalizing on your ignorance. And when you read the New York Post and follow J.K. Rowling, it says, listening to the trans community. And I think it asks the doctors of IDA to review the civil rights laws that gave students with disabilities access to a free.
Thank you. You can wrap it up, please.
And the business that are working on not able people have to
Thank you, Tamara. Tamara, thank you.
We're not gonna be able to finish the meeting.
Tamara, come on. Come on. Tamara, please. Tamara,
We're not gonna be able to
come
finish
on.
the meeting.
Tamara, we're doing that to everybody. Thank
What
you.
you did was not for
Tamara, you're way over.
What you did for kids.
Tamara.
You saw it tonight.
Tamara.
You are wrong.
You're 2 minutes now. Let's not get into it.
Thank you. I want to get back to education over here. Class size, 255. It's very important to hear the voices, to consider all the things that need to be done to make sure that it's going to work, because if you have small classes and not enough teachers, it doesn't work. You're going to have the bigger sizes, and let's do it. Let's have that discussion. We've got to hear everybody. And while you're doing that, make sure that you have a lot of work on the math education, because we're lagging far, far behind on that. And it's very important to listen to the people who have thoughtful, meaningful things to say about this, because it's about the education of all our kids. And anybody who's going to say that it's one kid versus another kid pitting one against another, that's absolutely absurd. And I think that the adults in this room have a responsibility to make sure that they're not authoritarian and not listening to people. If they are going to put together a task force, a group to consider what it means to have different kids, we should do it. And for 254, that's what it's all about. It's about authoritarianism, and we must not have that. We must not listen to 248.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have to go really quickly because we're gonna be thrown out of this building very shortly. So the next item.
We have to, depending on how many there are, we won't get to resolutions because the security told us we're leaving at 10.
Well, we're gonna have to do this quickly. Next is, we actually skipped the committee reports, I presume there's no committee reports. Next item, second public speaking session. We don't have time for a second public speaking session.
Do we have a list?
Next, do we have a list of the second public speakers? Reading the list?
There's a list in the back.
941.
Sorry, it's just not gonna work, unfortunately. The next item is the vote on resolutions. Discussion. Do we have anyone who would like to discuss resolution number 253? That's the one on lack of data for non-compliance. Anyone who would like to discuss resolution 254? Yeah, like, just gotta try to make it fairly quick because we got like 8 minutes.
So I've heard a lot about democracy tonight. I've heard about, I don't know, viewpoint discrimination or something like that. But what I want to say is, we don't decide other people's kids' gender by democratic processing. Like, we're not the body that is like the gender review body. Like, that's not what we should be doing. And we don't, this is not a neutral thing, as I said before. We wouldn't establish a resolution. The CCHS, the CY Council on High Schools, established a resolution to decide if, kids with IEPs can be in general ed classrooms. It's, like the speaker just said, let's bring in, the other affected parties. There were people a few generations ago who were, just trying to decide by democratic process to exclude people from our public schools because of their race and religion. And that was wrong. And we moved on from it. And so I think this is a really harmful thing. I think we have a chance to walk it back, and we should. And, it just makes so much sense to have gender guidelines and that allow for students to participate in sports based on their own gender identity. Because we don't have to be, I'm kind of sickened to think that this council is up here, interested in what is, underneath the pants of kids. It's sick, frankly. And I think, the chancellor has told us our elected officials have told us, our community has told us, above all, our students have told us. And we need to move on, and we need to rescind this resolution and restore some sanity.
Somebody signed the back, sorry.
Any other members?
Yeah, I guess I'll say comments. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll try to be very quick because I know we only have 6 minutes left. So, it's very clear that people misinterpreted the intent of the resolution, and it's not to blame anybody because perhaps clauses should have been phrased in different ways. I wasn't a sponsor of the resolution, but we write our resolutions. We try to fairly state what we're trying to impart, but we're not always completely successful, myself included. So where do we stand? The vote was to ask for a conversation about a policy enacted 5 years ago, and my understanding is would be the first conversation. The Chancellor, in writing, at our town hall and on several occasions after, has acted upon the resolution, stating that he's not going to take further action. That's his right as the Chancellor. As far as the DOE is concerned, that's it. The resolution to rescind, to me, is moot because no CEC action would be appropriate at this point. This is backed by parliamentarians that I spoke with, including what Len had spoken about as well. If we rescinded resolutions after actions are decided, then we'd be down a road where the new CEC could simply rescind all resolutions from the previous CECs ever. It becomes farcical if council members don't accept that when the DOE reviews in response to a resolution that is the consequential action taken, whether in the affirmative or negative. As such, I don't see a need to further vote here. I don't even think it's appropriate to vote. Individuals on the CEC and members of the committee are free to continue to advocate on their own behalf. And like everything, if people feel strongly about an issue, they absolutely should. I encourage that. But to me, the issue for CEC2 is over. There's not going to be a DOE review, and I acknowledge that. So I'd like to end by saying that many of the parents that I've spoken to would like the council to move forward and focus on other district education issues, like Reso 255, where we need to deal with the impact of potentially fewer seats in individual D2 schools. Or Reso 253, which we did not really get a chance to speak about tonight, where so many SWD issues are addressed, and it's so important. These are our most vulnerable kids. I hope we really can do so. Thank you.
We have like 2 minutes.
I was not at the meeting where this resolution was voted on. I did watch it during the boards from the screen. And I think it's really interesting that this council that passed this resolution with such resolution, philosophical, moral, put value judgments. Now all of a sudden doesn't want to vote to rescind it on procedural grounds. An abstain vote on this, which it will go to vote, is the same as a no. And the fact that we have heard over and over and over, I'm sorry, human rights are not up for debate, discussion, conversation, review. No one in this council has the right to convene a committee to review whether my black and brown kid, gets to sit in front of the bus. That is not the role of the council. I'm sorry?
Okay, let's go, because we're running out of time.
And I'm going to say this for the people that showed up. You want to have hateful thoughts and hateful positions on trans children? Do it in your dining rooms. Do it at home. Teach your children what you want to teach them. So you are sitting up here as an elected body representing those children that cried and left this room. That is not okay. This is a publicly representative body that is not representing the families and the students that have shown up month after month since March. And lastly, talk about intent. Well, yeah, the intent, fine. Maybe you had a different intent. The impact is what matters. Take responsibility for the harm that you caused and fix it. This is your opportunity to fix it.
Does anyone else have any comments on Resolution 255? Resolution number 255. Would anyone like to comment on this resolution? Or a discussion on Resolution 255? Okay, moving on. Resolution number 256. Resolution to enhance NYCPS lice remediation. Anyone like to comment on this resolution?
Say lice.
Okay. Then I'd call for a vote on the resolutions. I would make a motion right now to approve resolution number 253, resolution on lack of data on non-compliance for services to SWDs. Anyone second the motion?
I second.
Craig, can you call a vote?
Okay. Tree Bookerai?
Yes.
Tree Bookerai, yes. Allison Bowen?
Yes.
Allison Bowen, yes. Daniela Egorov?
Yes.
Daniela Egorov, yes. Gavin Healy?
Yes.
Gavin Healy, yes. Charles Love?
Yes.
Charles Love, yes. Maud Maron?
Yes.
Maud Maron, yes. Sonal Patel?
Yes.
Sonal Patel, yes. Jessica Savage?
Yes.
Jessica Savage, yes. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg?
Yes.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenise?
Yes.
Sabina Serenise, yes. Leonard Silverman?
Yes.
Leonard Silverman, yes. Craig Slutskin, yes. 12-0-0-0 passes.
Next motion, I'd like a motion to approve resolution number 254, entitled resolution to rescind resolution number 248. Anyone second that motion?
I second it.
Craig, can you call a vote?
Tree Bookerai?
Abstain.
Tree Bookerai, abstain. Allison Bowen?
No.
Allison Bowen, no. Daniela Egorov?
No.
Daniela Egorov, no. Gavin Healy?
Yes.
Gavin Healy, yes. Charles Love?
No.
Charles Love, no. Maud Maron?
No.
Maud Maron, no. Sonal Patel?
Yes.
Sonal Patel, yes. Jessica Savage?
Yes.
Jessica Savage, yes. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg?
Yes.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenise?
No.
Sabina Serenise, no. Leonard Silverman?
Abstain.
Leonard Silverman, abstain.
Pick a side!
Craig Slutskin abstain. So 4 to 5 to 3, the motion does not pass.
The next item on the agenda is resolution number 256. I make a motion, I'm sorry, 255. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 255, entitled resolution to create a District 2 class size task force. Anyone second that motion?
Second. Charles.
Tree Bookerai?
Yes.
Tree Bookerai, yes. Allison Bowen?
Yes.
Allison Bowen, yes. Daniela Egorov?
Yes.
Daniela Egorov, yes. Gavin Healy?
No.
Gavin Healy, no. Charles Love?
Yes.
Charles Love, yes. Maud Maron? Maud Maron, yes. Sonal Patel?
No.
I'm sorry, I can...
No.
No. Sonal Patel, no. Jessica Savage?
Abstain.
Jessica Savage, abstain. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg?
Abstain.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, abstain. Sabina Serenise?
Yes.
Sabina Serenise, yes. Leonard Silverman?
Yes.
Leonard Silverman, yes. Craig Slutskin, yes. Passes 8 to 2 to 2.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 256, entitled resolution to enhance NYCPS life remediation policies to provide needed resources to families. Anyone second that resolution?
Second.
Second motion. Call for
Tree Bookerai?
No.
Tree Bookerai, no. Allison Bowen? Yes. Allison Bowen, yes. Daniela Egorov?
Yes.
Daniela Egorov, yes. Gavin Healy?
Yes.
Gavin Healy, yes. Charles Love?
No.
Charles Love, no. Maud Maron?
No.
Maud Maron, no. Sonal Patel?
Yeah.
Sonal
Sorry,
Patel,
yes.
yes. Jessica Savage?
Yes.
Jessica Savage, yes. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg?
Yes.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenise?
Yes.
Sabina Serenise, yes. Leonard Silverman?
yes.
Leonard Silverman, yes. Craig Slutskin, yes. 9 to 3 to 0, motion passes.
Next is approval of the minutes. Does anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Does anyone have any, or does anyone have any
Yes.
edits or revisions to the actual minutes from our last meeting? Okay, make a motion to approve the minutes.
Yes. Second.
Call it real quick.
Tree Bookerai?
Yes.
Tree Bookerai, yes. Allison Bowen? Allison Bowen, yes. Daniela Egorov?
Yes.
Daniela Egorov, yes. Gavin Healy? Gavin Healy abstained. Charles Love? Charles Love, yes. Maud Maron? Maud Maron, yes. Sonal Patel?
I didn't read them, so I'm going to abstain.
Sonal Patel abstained. Jessica Savage?
Abstain. Sorry. Abstain.
Jessica Savage abstained. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg?
Yes.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg, yes. Sabina Serenise?
Yes.
Sabina Serenise, yes. Leonard Silverman?
Yes.
Yeah, Leonard Silverman, yes. Craig Slutskin, yes. Motion passes 9-0.
Any new business anyone would like to discuss? Okay. I move for an adjournment. All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go right into our working business meeting.
No.
We gotta do it. We still have a few minutes.
Do we though?
If we don't, we're gonna have to meet again this
8
month.
minutes. Yes, let's look at them.
So,
If only we had
I'd
a
like to
virtual
call
option.
our June 2024 working business meeting to order. Craig, will you take attendance, please?
Tree Bookerai? Tree Bookerai here. Allison Bowen?
Here.
Allison Bowen here. Daniela Egorov?
Here.
Daniela Egorov here. Gavin Healy?
Here.
Gavin Healy here. Charles Love? Charles Love here. Maud Maron? Maud Maron here. Sonal Patel.
Here.
Sonal Patel here. Jessica Savage.
Here.
Jessica Savage here. Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg.
Here.
Sarah Schechter Ehrenberg here. Sabina Serenese.
Here.
Sabina Serenese here. Leonard Silverman.
Here.
Leonard Silverman here. Craig Felsky here. We have a quorum.
3, the next item on our agenda is our treasurer's report. Please go ahead.
Yes, there are no changes at this time.
We have none.
People have to get their stuff.
Because we got, just for everyone who's out there, all reimbursements have to be submitted by, I think, June 21st or the end of the month.
The end of the month.
Okay, I will be getting my reimbursements at tomorrow. Thank you. School liaison updates? Any school liaison updates? No. Continuation of discussion of CEC social media. That's all you want to say.
No, not today.
I will just say that, I think we've pretty much solved the Facebook issue, correct?
Yeah, the Facebook posts look good.
I mean, so we shouldn't have any more issues of any.
No, we straightened the policy.
As long as we're working the policy. Yeah, the access is just limited.
No, we're good
to-
now. We're good now.
To us, okay.
Stasis is good.
Next item, any new business for the town, for the, working business meeting?
Do we need to do anything on the superintendent evaluation? Is that,
You'll
was
have
an
to-
email? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I
For
think
the
so.
next meeting, yeah. Hard.
So there's a superintendent evaluation, we'll have to do that.
Sorry.
Okay, any other new business? Okay,
Remind everybody that next meeting is on the second Wednesday, because we have to do it.
yes, all right, so Craig, when-
So the next meeting is the second Wednesday of July. It has to be that for our bylaws, because that's our annual meeting where we will elect our officers for the next year.
I want to thank you, security officers, for your assistance. We're gonna get out of here on time. Appreciate it. Thank you, all council members. A motion to adjourn our working business meeting. All in favor? Motion, meeting adjourned.
You said you would talk to anybody else.
Yes, I will do that.